Hello, everyone. Welcome to a stream on the 22nd day of December, the 22nd day of the Jingle Jam.
It's only three sleeps till Santa.
Two and a half sleeps until Santa.
How many sleeps is it?
No! Sleep till Santa!
I knew it was either 2 or 3. Oh, God, that was a tough one. Was that in the exam?
We've started. This stream is all about sex and science.
Woo!
And the science of sex and the sex of science.
Oh. Would you fuck a mermaid?
Would you fuck a mermaid is the thesis we're going to try to explore today.
Simon, please answer these questions.
So, to introduce our panelist today.
This is QI now.
On my left, stage right, we have the, your doctor.
Now, I graduated last week.
Woo! Diamond, look at this. Oh. Simon
I
the
thought
doctor.
you were a doctor already.
I know, but
well,
he was like a stage.
Process.
Yeah,
I see.
Yeah,
you were a future doctor before.
Well, I passed the Viva in February.
Okay.
But then
Excuse me, the what?
The final exam of the PhD.
What's that called?
A Viva.
The Viva.
Yes,
That sounds like more of Hannah's expertise.
Oh, wow. What a segue.
Yeah, exactly.
Viva is?
I don't know, but I'm going to find out today on Sex and Science. So, Dr. Simon Clark, what is your doctorate in?
Atmospheric physics.
Whoa!
So, if you remember the Beast from the East that happened earlier this year? My thesis was literally about those phenomena.
Yeah, that was me.
I got roped into being interviewed on like Sky because of it, and I did feel like it was like, he's the man. He's the reason this is all happening.
It's always good to have an expertise.
It is.
I like science because it scares people.
Yes.
And there's only one thing that scares people more, and that's the gentleman here to my right, Lewis Brindley.
on a dark night.
Who is going to learn all about
canal.
sex.
On a foggy eve on a bridge.
Lewis, could
about
you describe sex to me?
It's when your mummy and daddy give each other a very special cuddle.
Yeah.
They lock their door.
Yeah.
And they tell you not to come in for the next 10 minutes.
10 minutes? Fucking hell, Jesus. Someone's bragging. Jeez.
Then there's a little bit of squeaking.
Yeah.
That's not the bed.
That's the sex mouse that there's
Right.
The sex mouse.
That's the Viper. That's what we were talking about.
It's already happened.
So to actually be our sexual expert in the room, it is, of course, Dan. And he's brought along his lovely lady friend, Hannah Witton.
Hello.
Hannah, you obviously, you're not. I've described you just as like the sex lady, but that feels extremely narrow.
Lady of the night, Hannah Witton.
So Hannah you're a fantastically successful YouTuber.
Sexpert.
Who talks, are you a sexpert?
I think I know more than your average person, so then I would say yes.
Okay.
Probably.
So you're a science expert.
Science expert.
Yeah. And she's a sexpert.
Yeah.
That's
I mean, I
much
wrote a
better
book
name.
on it, so.
You literally did, and in Dutch.
I didn't
which
write the
now
Dutch.
Silas has.
Indirectly. You
Indirectly.
If anyone needs a
Google
book about
Translate.
sex, it's
Come to me.
Yeah,
or
Silas.
Dutch, man.
Oh, holy moly. Oh, I can't
really
wait.
helped
He's
him out,
gonna.
Hannah.
I can't wait. He's gonna go ham back in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands.
Oh.
That right.
We finished that
Yeah.
last stream and Turps just
Yeah.
turns to us and goes, yeah, he definitely needs that.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's gonna change it. He's gonna be reading
Everyone
it.
needs
Look,
it. It's a
everyone
great
needs it.
book,
You know
if I
what?
say so myself.
We could all learn a thing or two from Hannah's book. Available now at all
Mate.
good
Is it too late to
bookstops
get before
and
Christmas?
Some bad
Can
ones.
Amazon
Yeah.
Prime get it
Amazon
to you?
Prime.
that was last night.
Literally,
That was
go
last
on.
You
night.
can still get it.
Can you?
I ordered something today, which is going to make it to a family member
you
for
fucking
Christmas.
hope. Fucking hope.
As long as the post office manage it, which is
There you
always
go.
the risky bit.
Well, we will see. And Dan,
Buy one for your dad.
Dan, do you have any expertise I should kind of tell people at home?
Do you want to tell
I've
people
got
about
an
your
attractive
expertise?
back.
Tell me about your back. How's your back
Dan's
famous?
back helped build my PC.
Yeah, my back built a PC
Really?
all by itself.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
I was
pretty
there.
impressive.
Yes,
That
I'm
is
there
good.
actually.
We have quite a few tech issues in this studio, so we'll see if we can. Steve's getting involved.
Steve's denying there's any technical issues.
We'll
It's all going to be very
We'll see that as
smooth.
Steve's famous last words for tonight.
Yeah.
You don't want to open the stream, Steve, with there's no tech issues.
My screen's gone off, Steve.
So it's fine. Don't tell him things like that. He will
right.
panic. He's been panicking. So obviously, clickbait aside, we are actually going to talk about sex and science, but also we're just going to talk about science and just talk about sex. But maybe we can explain the science of sex.
Oh.
Like, why does sex?
Why? How?
Why does sex?
What a question for the ages.
concept.
How does a sex work? And if you were to fuck a mermaid,
How would that work?
but you had a girlfriend,
That's the key.
that's the thing,
extra
isn't
assumption.
it? Exactly. That's the hypothesis
Or
people
a
don't
wife,
have. Or a
yeah.
wife. You know, would you? Is it still acceptable to say what type. So, Hannah, would you fuck a mermaid?
Well, can we get technical first?
Yes.
So, if we are talking about
classical
fucking a mermaid and talking about like how, why, what sex, I think we need to define sex. Mm-hmm. So
I'm here.
So
I'm in.
How would we define sex?
P and B.
Okay, that's one kind of sex.
That's one kind of sex, yeah.
Lewis, what's your definition of sex?
Oh. Well, I guess it would be the orgasm, maybe. It's like the.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
So if you have sex and the other person you're with doesn't have an orgasm, they haven't.
I don't think they've had sex. No.
Lewis is like, I wouldn't know.
That's not my problem.
I like it. It's like Lord of the Rings. It's not the destination, young hobbit. 'Tis the fellowship's journey.
It's
and the friends you make along the way.
It's how we use the sexy time that is given to us.
So can you have sex without a genital entering another, or rubbing against another genital? Or like genitals have to be involved for sex in one way.
I think kind of. Also, like I think that anyone's definition of sex is kind of up to them, but I definitely don't think there has to be penetration for that.
No, okay, cool.
Mm-hmm. But just genitals involved, but it could be like a mouth and genitals or hands and genitals. Also, we should say, like, I think we've already made it obvious we are going to be talking about sex, maybe quite graphically.
Oh boy, I'm getting very hot.
Just FYI, I don't know if anyone watches this stream with their kids.
I feel like I'm in school and I don't want the teachers to pick on me at any point.
Obviously, later on tonight, we've got, I think Rithian and Ravs are coming back to do some stuff, or maybe Nalzi, I forget who it was. But then after that, we've got DJ Wheat and Mini Wheat doing their annual stream. So those who don't know, DJ Wheat is head of production and programming on Twitch. And he broadcasts with his previously young son. I don't know quite how old his son is now.
Well,
he's been doing it for years.
3 years older than the last time
exactly. I don't know. Yeah, they do
probably
it.
Still
young.
No,
but anyway, hopefully none of the young kids are watching this stream. Or if they are, stay tuned because you're going to learn a fuckload. And they won't teach you this in school.
They won't.
It's going to be like what Channel 5
They
was,
should,
late
though.
Night.
Yeah.
Like some schools literally use my YouTube videos in school.
Really?
Yeah. So
if they got ad block on there, I'd be
devastated.
What's happening
devastated.
there? That's not right. So we're saying genitals involved. Can you have sex without genitals?
Is a handshake sex?
No, because that could get really awkward. I think that might be the...
Touche. Oh, he slipped in a... Oh, what's that about?
Oh, look at our background!
Oh, this is good.
That's nice.
I can't wait to see what Steve cooks up for science. Oh.
Yeah, Steve, your challenge is to find a background that communicates stratospheric dynamics.
Oh,
okay?
Oh, there you go. There's a challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, he's kept the same one on. Okay.
Just put one of my videos on, Steve.
So so genitals.
Genitals involved.
Now, obviously,
I like how you're bringing it back.
2018.
Genitals. Okay.
2018, genitals feels like a very dangerous word. Like, I feel like, gender, genitals, what is and isn't, I think it's such a vast quandary.
It's a quagmire.
It's a quagmire. I love that word. And it's a
moist... saying that genitals are a quagmire?
They can be.
Stuck in the genitals.
They can be.
Can't pull yourself
they can
out.
be.
That's a bear trap. That's not a vagina.
We are saying that we think, and as scientists may confirm this, we think sex involves genitals.
The act of,
The act of sex involves genitals. Okay.
And more than one person.
I think, and also like pleasure and...
Can you have sex with just one person?
Yeah, that would be masturbation.
Is masturbation is that a subcategory?
I would describe masturbation as solo sex, so it's still sex.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh, there you go. Look, there's a science one.
I mean,
I think this describes masturbation to me.
See, I think
Can you talk us through your work, young lady? What is that? How can you explain your diagram?
That's good.
That's what sex feels like.
That reminds me of a time I had a threesome, but no one else turned up. It was great, though. Big fan.
That's fine.
Yeah,
your left hand and your right hand.
Yeah, exactly. And let's just say one of us wasn't needed.
Well, no.
So then it was a handshake.
It was just a handshake. Hello.
It was a handshake.
You're sat on your bed just shaking your own hand going, this is amazing.
Yeah, I did. Just good job. Well done. Well done. I think I'm gifted, though, because I can look in a mirror, and that's good. I like that.
Puts a whole different spin on pressing flesh.
Exactly.
I like this.
What happens if you're like Lewis, okay? You've aged into your looks. You weren't always a beautiful man. He is now. I think that's fine to say. But
it's very kind of
how old were you, sir, if you don't mind saying, when you lost your V card?
Oh, okay.
Is it really losing something, or is it gaining?
Have I yet?
Oh, I don't think there's a change at all. But
you're a man. Like, there's a very. I think
is there
it's
a
very
sociological
different.
difference there?
I think I'm gonna put my hand up there. I've never been penetrated by another person. Okay, that shows how vanilla
Not
I am.
even yourself?
No. Take a drink. Take a drink. We know the rules.
Should we invent a drinking game?
But the thing is,
but we are going to be kind of playing a little drinking
but it
game
must
here.
be. But it must be a very different experience for ladies, I think. And maybe I'm wrong. But is it not a very different thing?
What, are we talking about sex or virginity?
Yeah, no, virginity. The first time.
So
we're starting at the beginning.
Yeah.
I have so many opinions on this that I don't
That's
know
what
if I want
tonight's
to
about.
rant.
No, go for it. I mean, for me, the first time was amazing in that I actually discovered time travel. It was over before it began, and that was
okay?
that
You
was.
went back in time.
I went back
to enjoy
in time,
it again.
and that's the thing. So I don't even know because I lost my
That's like
virginity,
that
but I don't
film
know if
about
she
time.
lost her virginity. You know, you know, because I don't think anything actually happened. But for me, it happened.
Was it? For how many people here was it really awkward the first time?
Mine was okay.
Because it was for me, for
mine
sure.
Was fine.
No, I was actually in a relationship at the time, and it was very...
Did she find out?
Yeah.
You were just like, you make it sound very businesslike.
Yeah,
Like, well
yeah,
done.
yeah.
And that was
That's how I
satisfactory.
conduct all of my relationships.
Yeah.
No,
I'll see you at 7:15, darling.
We genuinely did
We signed a
job
contract.
interview questions when we started dating.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, to figure out if we'd be compatible. It was like, what are you going to bring to this role? Where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
Did you just?
Do you have any questions? Where do you see you in 5 years'
yeah.
time?
No, we genuinely did that.
2 years experience working at McDonald's.
Yeah. It says it's an entry-level position, but you're demanding 5 years' experience. I don't quite understand.
It's definitely a set where child labour
Yeah.
is very frowned upon.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
Oh, it's
Simon
happened
went
already.
there.
Yeah.
Simon went there.
Lord.
No, I have never had sex with a child just to. in case
Wow,
I
you
take
did
that out of
not need to
context.
clarify that.
That was going to be taken out of context. I can see it happening.
It's already gone really well.
All of
Actually, that
all of my
it
audience
is
has
a
come
tricky
over.
thing, though, because, so a lot of people lose their virginity when they are technically still children.
Yeah.
That's all right.
It's
as long as
illegal
the
in
other
some cases.
person is
Yeah.
also a child.
Well,
That's-
yeah, technically, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
2 15-year-olds having sex with each other isn't illegal.
No.
No.
Filming it is. Sorry, I don't know why I say
Yes.
it.
No.
Why don't
That
I
is
say it?
100% illegal.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
boy.
see. There's definitely things you can tack onto that make it illegal. So anyway, we segued straight from the beginning. So, sex.
So, Lewis, when did you lose your
Was this going to be more structured, or is it just a random...
I think it's just what
In my
Turps wants to
email
know.
proposal, this was so
Is this just
structured.
educating
This
Turps
is good.
on-
I'm going to learn so much. I'm going to go back and I'm going to make 4 babies.
Well, hang on a second. You have 2.
I have 2
You
babies.
have the most babies.
I have the most babies in this room.
Doesn't mean that you're the most experienced with sex.
Oh, Christ, no.
He
Jesus.
could be the worst.
He could be the worst.
exactly.
He's just had 2
Just be lucky.
Yeah. I have
only
one
takes one
functioning
sperm.
testicle, and the other one I don't think's done anything.
What? How do you know?
I don't know, but that's my
Which one do you
hypothesis.
think is which?
Left.
Are both,
Left is the good
The
one.
good one.
are both of your kids the same gender?
Yes.
Right, because in medieval
That
times,
means they both
some
came
people
from
did
the
believe
same-
that
yeah.
one bull
Came
produced
from the
male
one bull.
sperm and
Came
one
from the
produced
one bull.
female sperm.
And that
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah. But
not
That's-
right.
No, of course it's not correct.
Okay.
But
Why
Not
did you have to
correct.
says the
clarify?
level of
I don't-
medieval
I don't know
knowledge that we're
that.
at here.
Okay.
Here we go.
I'm
Anyway,
allowed to not know some things.
so anyway, how old
So
were
when
you?
they came out of your dick,
yeah.
So wait, the baby
They
fully
look
formed.
They look nothing like they do now. I'll put that into context.
Oh,
Like-
I have actually a
Yeah?
good question about sex and science that, well, you're not a biologist, so I don't know if you'll be able to
I am.
answer this.
It's okay.
So, Turps, this is
fortunately, we
for
got
you.
Twitch chat here. to
So,
help.
so this is a thing that I've read about, but it's one of those things. There's a lot of stuff in terms of sex research that it's like. There's some evidence that proves this,
It's pee.
but
It's
who?
pee.
Oh, you're talking about squirting.
It's
That's
pee.
not what I was going on
Okay.
about. But we can talk about that later.
That's good. I can't wait.
But it's about what determines whether a baby is a boy or a girl, and male sperm and female sperm. So apparently, potentially, male sperm is faster, but female sperm can stay alive for longer.
Lust and love. That's what they say.
If a woman has just ovulated and then has unprotected sex, the male sperm will just get there and
Bam.
and
Lust. You got some boy
conceive.
babies.
It'll just be
Yeah.
go some boy babies. But if she if she had sex
And
a
then
week before,
ovulates, yeah.
and then ovulates, it's the female sperm that's still sticking around and is still alive and kicking, and then they
That's
impregnate.
what I've heard.
This is what I've
That's
heard.
what I've
Do they stay
heard.
around that long?
They can do.
Sperm can live for up to a week in the womb.
Yep.
Which is why you can still get pregnant if you're on your period.
Or
Fun
like
fact.
like 3 hours on a tissue.
Fun fact: the shape of the penis is you presumably already know this is the way it is because it's meant to pull sperm
Scoop
from
out
a
old
previous.
ones.
Scoop it out.
But it's called
Scoop it
the
out.
plunger hypothesis, which is the
You're
name that I gave to my theory in my PhD thesis.
Oh wow!
Off of that background, my supervisor still doesn't know this.
Oh, right,
I literally
okay.
put a dick joke as the main bit of theory in my
Nice.
PhD thesis.
Oh, brilliant.
So that's
science.
out there now.
That's science right
Yeah.
there. That's official
That
science.
was like for you, wasn't it? Like,
Yeah.
I just need to put this in there for my own sanity.
I do need to put it in there.
So-
So,
Here's a question which I've always wondered.
okay.
Imagine, like, let's say you're in the bath, okay?
Yes.
And
You jizz in the bath. It happens. And then
And
a
then-
lady has a bath in your bath water to save on the heating.
No,
Yeah.
you're
stuff.
fine.
Yeah.
You're fine.
you're okay with
Yeah,
that?
You
yeah.
sure?
I
Good.
don't think that you've got any unknown children out in
Good
the
to
world.
know. Just worried.
At least
Well, let's say it's
from
a
that,
public
you might have
swimming
unknown
pool.
children
Okay, let's
from
just say it's a
other-
swimming pool.
You've jizzed in a public
and,
swimming
you don't,
pool.
and let's just say I did, and everyone's there
It could be a bit
swimming.
of pre-cum. You can't
What
control
happened?
that.
What happened?
I think
get
it's bad.
excited in the
It's
swimming
bad etiquette. At the very least.
Does
Bad etiquette
chlorine
to change
kill
the bath
children?
water.
In which case, are vaccines bad?
I need to unpack
Okay,
that.
I
Oh
feel
my
like we
God.
just need to clarify. Vaccinations are great. Please get your
Yeah.
kids vaccinated.
There you go. Well, yes, do if you want them to live, full lives. Again,
Yeah.
if like me, you're thinking, oh, it's going to get expensive after another 18 years.
I'm sick of these.
Exactly. Go easy on the vaccinations. Dial it in.
We are raising money for charities.
We are
today.
for lots of charities. So the second one down there's the Children's Hospital. So they vaccinate lots of kids there. They love it. That's good.
Holy
Please do
shit.
donate to the Humble Bundle. I feel like we
Humble.com/.
We should say
We are embarrassing Lewis.
I'm still
on
trying to
stream
figure
for
out.
your
So, Lewis, when did you
advertising.
lose your virginity?
We still haven't got around
Have
to
you
that.
lost your virginity?
Well,
Humblebundle.com/.
You don't.
Yog.
Do you know what?
You don't have to.
Please
You
give
don't.
generously.
You don't have to answer.
you don't. If people ask you this, you
Don't
don't
give
have
in to peer pressure.
Exactly.
That's what Lewis is showing here. There you go.
That's the face of someone standing up to peer pressure.
help.
Incredible. So Lewis has a nut allergy. And have you ever done No Nut November? Every
Every
year.
November, yeah.
every day is No Nut for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
So
I heard there's a really great community around November. Lots of people encouraging each other.
Well, it's more.
Well, there's
of a-
no FAP. That's
Yeah,
a subreddit.
that's the other. Yeah, the no fap.
Because I remember when.
hang
do you
on,
remember
guys.
when the fapping
this
happened?
is Lewis's subject matter of expertise.
No
here.
fapping.
So yeah, let's hear about.
What? I'm a strong proponent of no fap, actually.
Are you?
Yeah.
I believe we
Like
talked about
no
this before.
fap at
haven't
all,
we?
or like in moderation.
No fap at all.
No fap at all.
Well, not if you're
What's the fap at
single.
all?
Wait.
If you're single,
so if
it's
you're,
okay to.
but in a
fap.
relationship, you can't fap.
Well,
Oh,
you
interesting.
shouldn't be doing it excessively.
I mean, you shouldn't be
What do
doing
you think is
anything
excessive?
excessive,
Yeah,
This is
people set
interesting.
their own standards for
This is
what's
interesting.
excessive.
Yeah.
I don't think you should fap excessively.
What is excessive though? What is it? Twice a day? 3 times a day? 8 times a day? When it's bleeding?
Oh.
I think it can damage your sex drive when you're in a relationship if you.
So you're preparing for the relationship by not overly fapping when
No,
you're not
this
in
is
a
like
relationship.
when you're in a relationship.
Oh, when you're in a relationship.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's also kind of like each their own.
If you're dating someone with a very different sex drive, then I think it's okay.
We
I mean,
are
obviously
living in a-
define excessive, but
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I think masturbation, like excessive masturbation, even when you're single, is probably a bit dodge.
yeah, it's definitely going to be detrimental
think
to your
it's-
mental
Well, I
health.
agree to disagree to everyone on this.
But excessive is a
Excessive,
subjective term.
exactly. Go ham.
Wow, Mech Walrus just had a 6-hour fap. Apparently.
There you go. Good on you.
Good on you, mate.
Good on you.
Go for it. Some people look.
That's fine.
Celebrate by
There's
donating to
different
charity.
tiers.
Different tears.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
if it brings you to tears. So we've established
Different strokes for different folks.
exactly.
Yeah.
I like that. So sex
We're back here.
is genitals that are interacted with
With another person.
another
possibly.
person
Or by yourself.
or by yourself
For arousal and pleasure.
and procreation.
No.
No.
Well, that's surely part of the definition of sex. Or are we talking still about masturbation?
No. Well, because loads of people, most people, when they have sex, like I've had sex, you wouldn't believe it. I have had sex, and none of those
At
times have
least
been for
once.
procreation.
That's just
No, yeah.
None of them have been for
I don't know
procreation.
who it's with.
Yeah. Not for okay, yeah. But also it can
Recreation, not
It can be.
Be. It can be.
It can be.
It's not
be.
exclusive. I want to arrive on a definition that we can put in the dictionary
Oh.
that
I
would
could
then
look
be
it- I
better
could
than
look
the
it
actual
up.
dictionary one?
I mean,
because I'm
surely-
sure the dictionary's wrong.
It's a sociological phenomenon rather than a scientific phenomenon. So it's going to be inherently really difficult to define.
Yeah.
It's like trying to define what is music. That's
This.
I can hear it in my ears
this
right
porno
now.
type music that's in
Bam.
our ears.
Yeah. But also you can feel music.
You can feel
You
sex.
can.
Both very difficult to define.
Yeah.
Okay, so we can't define sex. What's next?
Well,
Dreams ruined.
look, so
Can we define science?
Oh god, no, that's going to be even more difficult probably.
science is just the
absence of
desire
sex.
to
You're right.
understand our
Right,
natural
there we go.
world.
Look. Science.
Hey,
Science, that's it.
Steve defined it instantly.
That is
It's so easy.
science.
Load of nerds looking at microscope.
It's microscopes, it's lab
They're all
coats,
looking at Lewis's dick.
goggles.
Research labs look barely anything
Maybe
like
they're
that.
looking at sperm.
Oh, it could be their own sperm.
Their own sperm.
What, even that lady on the right?
Yeah, she scoops them out.
Wow.
Because hang on, that's a good question. If someone ejaculates in someone, whose sperm is it then?
What, legally?
Like,
Is this my property now?
it-
Okay.
I
This
see.
is another thing I've read about.
Okay.
Though. So you know how like we're all taught this narrative that like men are super promiscuous because they want to spread their seed, and then women want security, so they kind of want to settle with one partner.
Right.
But there's like new ideas and hypotheses that are out there, which is actually that women will try and have sex with as many people as possible, because if the paternity of the child is ambiguous,
Then
is
they
that
get
word?
more
Ambiguous.
people.
Oh my god.
Ambiguous.
Ambiguous. I've had too much wine already. Ambiguous. Then all of the men will
Or
like
smallulus.
But also,
they will all like chip in to help. Basically, that child's survival rate goes up.
but
I don't
also
know.
you get better genetic material because
Yes,
it's
because then all the sperm fight it out in the womb, and the strongest sperm
you're
survives.
thinking of
robot
You're thinking of Fortnite. That's where they
Battle Royale.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's when
sorry.
those
I'm just
potential
getting.
kids.
Yeah.
I'm just
All the
getting
sperm
biology
starts out in a
and
butt.
all these virgins just get together until there's one left. No, I don't know, because in my experience, babies come out looking like the dad. And that I thought was evolutionary. So
Well,
I
that's
don't
very
chuck
lucky
it-
on your part.
Exactly. I don't chuck him off a cliff. Say like, "You're not mine," like that. And so as they grow up, they look a little bit more like their mums.
It's always funny
You know.
because in the animal kingdom you do see a lot of angry dads.
Well, that's,
When you watch like
But is that just
What,
what
in terms of
Attenborough showed
paternity
you,
or
isn't
just
it?
generally?
where they're like, she's already had kids, I'm gonna kill the kids and sleep with her.
Yeah,
that's
that-
like what
that-
happens.
well,
to the
that's
that
animals.
does
ensuring
happen.
your own offspring.
Yeah.
that does happen a lot in some species, but
Because-
do you know what? That doesn't happen in humans.
Most
Funnily enough.
Well, that's, I
Lewis
think there'd be
does it.
trials.
Funnily
Lewis has
enough.
killed many
He's
children.
very
in
quiet.
his
He's
time.
like, yes, it doesn't happen in humans.
Bristol Canal full of child corpses.
The angry dad pushes the future son off the bridge.
It's Hamlet.
Yeah, I think so. I can see that.
It's the Lion King.
So I mean,
It
it
is.
is interesting because we are animals, and we are driven by our brains, and we're driven by addictions, and we have to use our, our human brain to overcome our animal urges
Aye.
a lot of the time.
Yeah.
We have to fight against that, and I think that in this age of internet pornography,
Oh, we're going there.
Oh, he said the P word.
fapping and such
Yeah.
is very much more.
Accessible.
I guess everything is much more extreme.
There we go.
Okay, isn't it? It's all.
Steve's working hard.
Oh, wow. I love it.
To answer the question, no, Steve, she wasn't entertained.
I've never seen it. Is it
You've never seen
Gladiator?
sperm?
No.
Never seen, not that big.
Yeah.
Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
Imagine if you just nutted
Yeah.
one giant
Yeah,
sperm
yeah.
that looked like that.
Oh.
Isn't that
Like
what
a tadpole.
Rather than a billion.
Like if you hadn't fapped in ages.
Coming for me.
It's like Men in Black when he's got the baby.
What is happening?
Oh, that's everything I
boy.
hate and more. But anyway, Ridley Scott is great film.
Great,
what-
great director.
So,
There's a huge number of inaccuracies in that film. Like,
yeah,
I
there's
just
a
gotta
guy wearing jeans.
say- Literally, in one of the shots with the boom box, like,
Yeah.
oh, fuck, I'm just gonna
Yeah.
put it in
Really?
here.
That's
Yeah, there's
really
also
well.
like a gas canister in the back of one of the chariots that's just going along. There's also a printed advert for the gladiatorial games, and it's like Horribilis Violensis Maximus, and like a cartoon of them fighting. But it's like 1,500 years before the printing press was invented.
Oh, I love it.
Someone got fired for that. That deadly.
There's a couple of gladiators
mistake.
with wristwatches, and there's like
Yeah.
a card
Oh,
in
Zulu
the background.
is the famous.
Oh, is it the
because they
wristwatch?
paid some of the extras with wristwatches.
Oh, amazing.
Oh, so they're already wearing them.
Yeah.
Good man. I like
So,
that.
like-
You can see a car in an early Lord of the Rings in the Shire.
Oh, really?
Yeah, exactly, in the Shire. They edited
Yeah,
out
but
some
they
of the later
had
editions.
wizards, so
Exactly.
Gandalf could have made
Well, that's
the
why
car.
he was never late. He had a fucking Volvo.
Uber.
It's fine. He's just coming along.
Because the Shire, very quick.
Keep your secrets then. So, guys, if you want to ask questions to our
Yes.
expert panel
Yeah,
up
please
here.
distract us from that.
So, Hannah, would you describe kind of drunk advice?
Yes. So I did this series on my channel called Drunk Advice, where we would get people to ask for advice and we would try and answer them and drink at the same time. So if you donate, humblebumble.com/yogs,
Just humble.com/yogs.
humble.com/yogs, donate and then ask a question and we can read them and answer them.
Indeed.
And shall I do the rules of Drunk Advice?
Yes, please.
Okay, there are 3 rules. Oh my God, can I remember these? It's been forever.
I did ask you this before we started.
Shit. Right, rule number 1, be drunk. If you don't drink, be in the spirit of drunk.
Nice.
I think
like that.
we've all kind of are drinking alcohol, but I may be the only one that's shouting.
It's Christmas. It's fine. It's fine.
Christmas.
Merry Festag, everyone.
We are actually getting help.
Oh, other people are drunk.
Step 2.
Oh,
Yep.
people are saying step 2. Oh my God, thank you.
Step 2, cut a hole in the box.
Rule number 2 is have a friend with you.
Hey!
Yay!
Right, I'm ready for
We're
step
all
3.
friends. And then rule number 3 is don't take our advice.
Okay.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be sexual,
That's good.
I feel. If there are other general science questions...
Oh, no, of
General
course.
science advice,
can try.
general sex
Life-
relationship
life advice.
general how to date a YouTuber advice.
Yeah.
I
General,
feel that's I have a very
Just
niche...
general advice.
yeah, no.
General.
general advice.
General advice.
for these 2.
I want to
don't ask us about
I want to
Brexit.
put a
Just
picture
don't.
up into plasterboard, but I'm wondering. I'm saying, well, how heavy is it? What are you talking about? You got 7 kilo. Okay, you're gonna want to get yourself some grip it wall plugs.
Are you just giving
Okay.
random
I'm just
advice for
saying,
no one that
anything.
asked for
He's
I'm
a
just
dad,
saying,
Hannah.
we can
It's-
do anything. Anything. You ask us a question, we'll give you an answer.
I do have, incidentally, I maybe should have mentioned this before. So we had another guy, my friend Dan Hanvey, who was here in the office. He gave me a present to open on stream.
Oh,
Oh, should we do that now?
I genuinely have no idea what this is.
Okay, let's have a look.
He knows that the stream is sex and science themed.
He knows the
okay.
stream is sexist.
So he said I might want to give this to Lewis or to Terps. So I don't
Well,
know.
Right here. I'm right here. I'm ready,
why are
baby.
you opening it then?
Oh yeah, okay. I still don't know what it is.
Is it a pack of jumbo condoms for you? So
Oh my God.
Oh, it's some vibrating panties. Oh, lovely.
Oh, I have a story about
Oh
vibrating.
dear!
Oh, dandy.
that's embarrassing.
no.
Oh,
So
who's
is
gonna
that
have
one of those
those?
ones
I've just
for
crushed
when they
it on my
donate,
ass.
it vibrates it.
Oh.
Oh,
I
like the
wish.
coins type thing. Yeah.
Oh no, it's not.
Oh, I see.
Oh, it comes with batteries though, so we can use
That's,
this out
I
of
mean,
the box.
in all fairness, with our obscurate things, it's very rare. I shouldn't hold anything like this, especially with a wedding ring. Anyone out there who's a fan of the internet, that comes with a battery. Look at that.
Yeah.
What Christmas presents come with batteries these days?
Why are you? I mean,
Amazing.
those things are fine. It's just a little.
So it looks like Steve, come back, go back to
What?
it.
It's a little.
Has anyone seen where my car's parked and my key's broken? Hang on.
Yeah, it just looks like a talkie.
Beep, beep. Oh, beep, beep.
This product is apparently called Hot Date.
Hot dates. Hot dates.
He just put
Cool.
up a like it's.
This channel's been
Yeah.
banned. Yeah,
It happens all the time.
Don't worry.
All the time.
Don't
all
panic.
the time.
I
It's
wasn't
fine.
panicking. I knew it was Steve.
It's all
I
fine.
knew.
God, I just.
It's
Right.
just to read you what you can expect from this product.
Okay.
Enjoying a fresh, vibrant, playful sex life is a great way to discover greater personal happiness in both mind and body. It's more fun than going to the gym, less fattening than chocolate, and more exciting than skydiving.
I can
Wow.
confirm. I have a good story about vibrating pants.
What,
Okay,
did you
let's
go
do
skydiving?
it.
Can
Let's
you
do
really
it.
confirm that it's more
No, let's
exciting
hear it.
than
Let's
I've
hear
never,
it.
skydiving?
I've never been skydiving.
Let's hear it.
Okay, so me and my friend at uni decided
Here we go.
we wanted some vibrating knickers based off a scene in the film The Ugly Truth. Is it called The Ugly Truth? There's a scene in The Ugly Truth where she's wearing vibrating pants in a restaurant and she drops the remote control for it. And this little kid in the restaurant. picks up this
Oh,
remote
yeah,
control
I've seen
and
that
starts-
film.
And starts
Yeah,
like
yeah.
hitting the buttons on it.
It's
and then
Catherine
Heigl?
Heigl. Hyman. Yeah.
Catherine Hyman.
It's the part she was born to play.
She and the Gilmore Girls.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so we were inspired by that, and so we bought matching underwear. No, we didn't buy matching underwear. We bought matching remote-controlled vibrators.
It was all
And then-
fine up until we asked the child to play with the remote.
And then what we did is we swapped the remotes. And then we went on a night out with all of our friends and wore the vibrators in the pants. What we didn't realise was because we bought the same brand vibrator, that when we hit the button, it set both of us off.
Ah.
Amazing. And also all the other girls who were wearing them in the hotel.
It's like going around with a universal remote control. I know I'm parked round here somewhere.
Yeah.
Do the thing we put into your head.
We didn't tell any of our friends what we were doing. And we just kept on doing it. It was so fun. And they were just like, you're giving each other electric shocks? What's happening? Because every so often, one of us would just be like, ah! Just like jumping up, because it was kind of terrifying.
Well, I don't think it works.
It was great fun. It does work, yeah.
No, I'm saying I don't think it works.
Oh, that doesn't work.
I'm trying to get it work. Hang on, Silas has got a question. Silas, speak into the microphone. Come over here, please, sir.
I am very confused.
Okay.
Okay, I did not write the Dutch translation.
This is something called menstruatie.
Menstruati.
Like menstruation? Is it
menstruation?
Menstruation?
Okay.
You're telling me that half the population of the world bleeds every month.
Oh, yeah.
How are you not dead?
Wow.
Well, it's because we're stronger than you.
Yeah, I mean, that is genuinely...
I'm 30.
They use
There we go.
Yeah.
This is it. This is
Any
literally
other
Silas's
questions?
world
Let
is
me
going to get rocked.
He doesn't know what he's doing.
What is the range on this, and why is this not working now?
Well, do you want me to take it with me outside and see if you can hear
No,
me
it
scream?
doesn't work.
like-
I've flipped them
Have you
around.
put it on
That's got a
properly?
light on.
Have you put it
I
in-
think so.
It did say about putting it onto O or something like that. Put it in H.
Put it in D for drive. Anyway, well, that sounds lovely. What a lovely night out. Could you imagine, Lewis, if we just rocked out with a couple of flashlights, right? And we're just out there in a party.
What the fuck has this stream become? How far
I'm just
even
saying,
are we?
I'm just saying, I'm amazed.
Simon, you need to be more
I'm amazed.
assertive. I'm just taking it over as the sex stream. You
Yeah.
need to be like, but what about the science?
But hang on, let's talk about the science of an orgasm.
Oh, God.
I mean, no one knows.
Not my
that.
field of
Like,
expertise, I'm afraid.
Oh.
We do have this thing which we
I
bought
read
from
once.
the Science Museum.
I read once that
Can I see if I can get it to work?
Yes,
Yeah.
please. Thank you. I think try the batteries around the other way. The remote lights up.
Oh. So maybe, can you pass me the box?
I can pass
Squeeze
it.
me.
There's a-
That's a slang for vagina. Right, let's read some of these donations. Lewis, what people
sorry.
already we've got?
Bibby Noblet says, how is Babby formed?
You have to pee in a girl's mouth.
Okay. The Craziest Taco says, thank you very much. Double says, nice hair, Lewis. You don't
Hundo.
Thank you.
Been waiting for the stream, says Carl. Go Dr. Baguette.
That's me.
What does that
You're
mean?
called Dr.
Why are you
Baguette.
Dr. Baguette? Is it because you look
It's
French?
from.
It's because he's very well endowed.
It's an inside joke from my girlfrime Pixel
like
Girl.
a fucking baguette.
God, that'd be horrendous. Oh, my pants are like a fucking boulangerie. No, it's from my Discord. There's a joke. They somehow started talking about baguettes, and so I'm Baguette Daddy. That's like
Okay.
my nickname.
So what are they? Are they the baguette babbies?
They don't really have a name actually.
No,
we
they don't.
need to have a name for the collective.
I like that. The collective. Perfect.
Yeah.
Like the Borg.
They will all those learn. Resisting them is futile.
Yeah.
I really do need to learn that lesson at some point.
Thank you very much, Callum. Thank you, Grotnitsky, the chump. Thank you very much, Conan the librarian today. This is before we asked for messages. So
This is good.
Jack says, it's weird to see Simon here. I followed him through all his PhD, and now I read his weekly podcast.
Yes.
You read it?
Do you have a transcript of it?
No, our readers, sorry, our listeners are called readers. Because of the mistake we
Because
made
you're
once.
so clever. No, I like it.
No, my housemate who I do it with is fucked up.
I'm very clever as well. I like to read
Thank
lots
you,
of
Jack.
books. I read them on Netflix. They're
It
great.
was weird that you followed me the entire time. Like
Yeah.
going to the bathroom is very awkward. But
It's all part of
thank
the
you very
process.
much for the donation.
Part of the
It's very
process.
kind.
Dan says, Simon, been watching you since you played GeoGuessr Kent Edition. Okay. That sounds like an amazing...
Thank you very much, Dan.
$50. Thank you.
Thanks.
Is that the noise that we all make?
I think
Yeah.
so.
Upon orgasm, yes.
Oh, yeah, maybe it was an orgasm.
Maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Who knows?
Pomph Momph. That sounds like a bit of bit sexual. It says,
What an
hey, love the
amazing name.
charity
Sleem.
sleazy streams. Bill G, thank you
Bill
very
Gates.
much.
Thank you, Bill.
Cordial
Aw.
fellow. thank you very much. I'm in favour of the Drunk Wikicast.
Oh, that's my podcast. I said that we would do an episode where we just get smashed and record it.
Can I do that one?
You can come along if you want.
Yay.
But we said we'd only do it if you donate to charity on this stream.
Oh,
okay,
there you go. That's good.
Thank you
there
guys.
you go.
Thank you. The Wikicast readership. You've
Have
done me
you
proud.
ever donated to Wikipedia?
Yeah, we do. So our podcast funds a £20 donation a month.
Oh, really?
As part
that's
of it.
good.
That's
very
very
nice.
nice.
That's
So
very
it's the Wikicast. If anyone wants to listen to it, it's me and my housemate chatting shit about. So we randomise an article on Wikipedia every week.
Is
Oh,
it
have you
Hitler
ever
every
played
time?
the Hitler game
You mean on Wikipedia or in general?
on Wikipedia?
Yes, then.
Okay.
Yeah. In general.
What is the general?
It's when you
Hitler
commit genocide on a. I've done it once.
Wow.
But yeah.
Datrez says, let's talk about the elephant in the room.
Turps, we can talk
How
about you
does
now.
one
Yeah.
last longer in bed? I last 2 seconds.
And that is from Datrez.
Well, that's a good thing for you,
Who is-
right?
Yeah.
Well, there are legitimately like
Not everyone
There-
wants it to go on for
creams for it?
hours.
Okay, yeah. So
that's a thing.
so there are things that can help with like numbing,
Yeah.
so that you have less sensation. So it will mean that you
How'd
last,
you numb this?
last longer.
The sharpest
You just have to
tool.
fuck to Lincoln Park.
Condoms will help. Maybe cock rings. Oh, wait, if you have a penis, I don't know if this person. I'm assuming this person has a penis, but
Well, because they don't last long in bed, you're assuming they're a guy.
How many condoms
Yeah.
should
well, I'm
you wear?
assuming because they're a young.
Because it's an
fan.
issue. Because it. Oh, wow.
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 Now I'm generalising.
You
But
are the
20
only woman here.
20+% of our audience are from the ladies.
oh, well, there you go. Okay, so
you
I'm
go.
going to give you 2 answers. One if you've got a vulva, one if you've got a penis.
Here we go.
Okay, so penis.
Penis first. Thank
Wait, hang on.
Like
Penis always
well,
comes
actually, no.
first.
Some of these things are like joints. So like numbing creams,
Yeah.
so that your sensation will last longer. The other things are so cock rings will help like stop the blood flow.
Is this just a
So
I
tab?
don't think you should like
So
Yeah, I
that
think
could
so,
also-
tie a belt around your shaft.
Yeah, careful with that one.
Some people like it.
What?
And it can be
Yes,
quite.
I'll have to
Yeah,
remember it. I'll just
you-
remember it.
But the other thing
turn the
is
key.
and this is something that anyone can do, and it's this technique.
There we go. Thanks,
Edging.
Steve. Thanks.
Have you guys heard of edging?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay. So,
I consider myself quite the connoisseur, but thank you.
so for anyone
Look at that
who
Yule
doesn't
log.
know what edging is, what you do is that you bring yourself, and this is best practiced in solo sex, you bring yourself to like just before you're about to come, and then you
Oh,
stop.
Simon's
Please
watching.
stop.
You
Stop.
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 Simon
you
was just in the chat.
Calm yourself down. Oh, is he?
Yeah, he just said, Jesus fucking Christ, what is this?
You calm yourself down,
He's got his notepad out as well. That's good.
and then you build yourself back up again and stop and bring yourself back down.
I feel
And
like I'm on marijuana enthusiast.
And then you can
Look
do
at all
that
these
as
lovely
many
trees.
times as you like, or that is possible. It may be that the first time that you try it, you can only do it once. And then maybe the second time you try it, you can do it twice.
So, and that is understanding your limits, I guess. That's
Yeah.
better to understand, like, oh, hang on, well, let's switch it up, because otherwise, yeah. So it's not necessarily you're building up stamina as much as you're understanding how you work.
Yeah, getting to know your body.
That's the thing, and that's
Reading
an
your
important
instruction
thing.
manual.
Reading your
I've got some
But
advice.
it's reading the instruction manual, but no one gave you an instruction manual, so you have
Yeah.
to write the instruction manual yourself.
Yeah, you're a custom, you're bespoke.
Do not stick dick in
Bespoke
Blender.
order.
Lesson
Oh,
learned.
wow.
That's a one-time lesson, though, isn't
Yeah.
it? Really.
We did that.
So how about for the
so-
vulvas? You haven't gone on to the ladies. There's some ladies
Oh.
out there who come too quick.
Yeah.
No, apparently there's not.
Oh,
remember.
edging. Is
No,
that
but
oh,
edging
for
works.
the ladies as
Edging
well?
works
Okay, there
as
you go.
well.
So, okay, I think we need to spend a little bit more time on this, just because.
Do we?
Yeah.
Oh,
Do we?
Yeah, Lewis is
Lewis
something-
wants to
I
spend
need
more
to
time.
get more
hypothetically,
information
though,
on this.
hypothetically, let's say, I don't know, you know, this is the problem. I was saying, it's too, look at that. I look at that lovely cave or tree. And it's, you know,
Okay, the other thing is about recognizing that sex doesn't end when you've had an orgasm. And so, like, if you have it in your head,
I'm
like,
having sex
oh,
right
I've
now.
come, that's the end of it, then that's going to be really sad for you.
Steve, I love you. This is amazing.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god.
Like a hot dog down a
why have you
corridor.
let me pour another glass of wine?
okay,
Fine.
so
Anyway.
sex doesn't finish at orgasm.
No.
No, certainly.
Not
Oh,
Dog
necessarily.
isn't just for Christmas.
Yeah.
Aftercare.
Sex isn't just for orgasm.
Exactly. Aftercare. Cuddles. The other person might need summit.
It's just as important as foreplay.
Exactly.
Post play.
Yeah. It's
Foreplay, postplay,
wow,
I
that is
guess.
a clam.
Wow.
That's a nice clam, Steve. Can we
Yeah.
can we tone down these images just a bit? I'm already.
They're not anything
I've already
wrong.
stimulated audio.
Yeah,
I don't need the visuals too.
Oh my!
I got the panties on, Steve. Easy.
It's gonna happen. So
Clams of people.
So no, don't forget about aftercare. Like that's a big part of.
But
the
what happens if the guy in the shop is
Especially-
trying to sell you an extended guarantee?
Right.
Because I'm thinking about the aftercare, but I'm thinking, am I going to need it? You know, it comes with a 2-year guarantee. Do I really need a
Wait,
third?
what are you talking about?
Surely the human version of that is you've had sex and you just immediately leg it.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not going to need this aftercare.
Yeah.
I'm just gone.
Oh, I see.
That's not fulfilling for.
No, it's not
No,
filling
don't
any
do
of
that,
those.
kids.
Come on, guys.
I mean, audience.
Yeah.
Audience. Kids, stop watching. For
So
the love
okay.
of God.
Also, you've got to think, Hannah. There is the opposite problem here, and this is a rising problem.
This is what Lewis
Not
was
being
there.
able
Here's the
to-
humble brag. I last too
Oh,
long.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. That
So
is
it can be
I'm
for a
dead
number of
inside.
reasons, right? So,
Yeah,
for
yeah.
example, first of all, everyone when they're like in their teens gets used to learning how to masturbate. Okay, thing.
Yeah, yeah.
And sometimes that can be a particular way. Maybe
So-
there's your favourite teddy bear.
If you're having
or
trouble,
a sofa in some people's cases.
Yeah, maybe it's on your front. Who knows, right?
yeah.
It's
if you're having
definitely-
trouble orgasming, edging is also a great way to sort it out.
I think edging's just the answer to
Edging is
all
great.
things.
But also, if you're having trouble having an orgasm, there is this amazing book. It's not mine. It's someone else's. It's called "Come as You Are" by Emily Nagoski. Genuinely, that's what it's called. I'm looking at my phone because I literally sent a friend photos of this bit of the book, being like, "Here you go. This will help."
Wow, illegal sharing of copywritten material. Okay.
Oh.
fair
You're an
enough.
author, Hannah. I expect
Yeah,
better of you.
exactly.
It was 3 pages
Okay.
because it's the appendix at the back.
Okay.
So it's fair use.
So go into a
So guys,
library or a
if you wanna come as you are, in the back, 3 pages.
Okay. it's
How do you feel about fair
Appendix
use?
1, therapeutic masturbation.
Of copyright or people, Lewis?
Was it free use?
That's free use you're thinking
Yeah,
of.
yeah, I think you've gone the wrong subreddit again. Right, so hang on. Let's have these pages. I
Oh
want to hear
no,
them.
it's really long. It's really long. I'm
That is also a problem.
I'm
that some
throwing it
people
out
have.
there as a recommendation because the thing is that if you're having trouble orgasming and that's the thing that you want to do, because the other thing is that there is nothing wrong with you and like you're not broken and it's totally fine. That's the other thing that you have to kind of get in your head, even though the society is just like, lol, you're not having real sex unless you're coming, which can be devastating for some people who can't. But if you think having an orgasm is something that you want to do, would recommend the Appendix 1 of Dr. Emily Nagoski's Come As You Are.
There you go.
Also PhD.
What if you had a...
That's how we say it.
if you had
Graduating with a PhD.
a third type of problem,
Okay, what's this next?
where I like to call it the Pringles issue, where once you pop, you can't stop. So you're just
Oh,
endlessly
it's not that your
coming.
dick looks like a
Okay,
Pringle.
No,
I
just
have
endlessly
the Pringles
coming.
issue with
Okay,
Pringles.
with Pringles, exactly.
Oh, thank God.
So exactly. I'm
you
guessing
think
the answer is edging. I think the edging, edging is just. I'm
Turns
gonna.
out that
That's good.
edging is just the
Edging.
way.
Yeah,
the
I'm really sorry for everyone who's donated and asked a question. It's edging.
It's edging.
It's edging. We're gonna do
How does
that.
the stratosphere couple
Yeah.
to the troposphere? It's edging.
Edging.
Right on the edge.
It's edging.
Yeah, if anyone's got any science questions.
We're gonna get there.
Elf says, I need some advice. I recently got a girlfriend and I'm getting nervous about the big night.
Ooh!
Because I've got a carrot for a cock.
What does that
Only
mean?
joking, I haven't got a girlfriend. But amazing. So
Yeah,
what would
thank
you
you.
what would you be advised for about that first night? That fear, that anxiety? Because
Oh, man.
it's always gonna hurt the moment, right? Everyone puts a lot of pressure on it. It's like your
Are you,
wedding.
talk- are you so you're talking about V card or just the first time you're sleeping with a
I'm
partner?
not talking about Fortnite.
No, exactly. Yeah. Your V bucks.
V-Bucks.
Your V
Everyone
bucks.
knows it's painful the first time you play
Exactly.
Fortnite. You're just like,
Yeah,
how did my
exactly.
life come to this?
You don't know what you're doing. It's over before you started. Everyone else seems to be having a good time except you.
And you've got a 15-year-old
Yeah,
yelling at you
exactly.
by the end of it.
Oh.
Why?
God.
Why do you gotta
do
keep doing
bringing
it?
them back in?
I honestly don't know. This is the guy who's the most highly educated in the room. This is
And therefore
terrible.
dropping the best joke.
Yeah, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah. They're next level.
I'm just sat back watching, being like, I don't need to be here. I'm just enjoying being in the room.
I feel like I'm talking
God.
too much.
I-
But
No,
it's
also,
interesting.
I am the
Honestly,
token
I
woman
don't
on
think
the
I've
planet.
heard a single thing any of you have said since you said vibrating knickers earlier. I was like, at that
Like,
point,
"Whoa."
my eyes just glazed
working?
over, and I could not.
No, I didn't want
I've
to
lost-
continue because it feels like
It's like the last half an hour has
Yeah,
just
they feel
disappeared.
really hot, don't they?
It's lovely, isn't it?
Oh boy.
It's great if you've got one tip bigger than the other as well. It doubles up. It's nice.
Do you want me to
So-
tie this on the back?
No, I'm fine.
What about
Nice.
people who are insecure about the size of their
Look at Lewis
Gangus.
pretending like he's reading.
Okay.
What about?
Lewis Brindley has donated, saying, "I'm insecure about the size of my wiener."
really big.
Yeah,
Labia.
my monster labia.
What do
Yeah,
what do I do?
It's like a ham sandwich from the side.
What's your advice for dealing with that? Have you been with someone who's got a very tiny member, and were they able to satisfy you in a sexual
away now,
way?
Dan.
Oh.
Dan, if you want to step in at this point,
Happy to.
Do you have something to say?
No.
No. Okay. All I'd say is that it is the cliche of like it's not what you got, it's what you do with it. And again, penetration isn't the be all and end all. Like you've got other parts of your body that you can do stuff with, like your hands and your mouth.
Yeah,
So
I do this move.
I hear some
And
women
some people really like that.
can't.
Some people. So,
Like that.
That's the only way that your wife can come.
The only way
when
she
you-
can reach
when you
climax.
do that.
Exactly. And when I talk to her like James Bond, Miss Moneypenny, to bitch, I've come totally
okay,
too early.
that sounds like more like Goldmember from Austin Powers, but I guess that is based
I
on.
love gold!
would you like a smoke and a pancake? Silas, we can get him in.
We could. Holy shit. Silas is too
unfortunate
busy learning
schmelting
about
accident.
menstruating. This is amazing.
Yeah. But the thing is that you can also get toys that like you can put over a penis that make it bigger.
Okay.
Like Voltron.
Like a bee sting.
No, why would you do that
No,
to yourself?
it's really weird.
You've been stung on the dick by a bee.
No, not that. But then
Oh.
it just looks like a hollow thing.
like a
we have
hollow-
one on our Christmas tree at the moment.
We do.
Don't ask.
Okay.
No,
Oh,
we
do
can.
ask.
Do ask.
We actually, can we say brand names?
Why not?
Why not? We're not sponsored.
These people,
Love Honey.
Love Honey, they sent me like they have like a Christmas advent calendar.
Oh,
sex
wow.
toys. And so they sent me
Amazing.
one, but I
On the first day of Christmas, love.
I stuck
It
up my
basically-
bum.
It is that.
yeah, but basically
The vibrating cock.
Cock ring. No,
That'd be
5
better.
cock rings.
Oh,
Yeah,
of course
yeah.
it would be, wouldn't it?
oh.
4 wise men.
No, okay, I
And
genuinely,
a
bad
little
lugs.
baby Jesus.
I got no.
On the 6th.
No, Hannah's ruined it. Come on.
No,
Hannah.
no,
You know what-
genuinely, I'm laughing because
sorry, we were talking
a
over
few
you.
years ago, I made a video called The 12 Days of Sexmas, and I sang that song, and I made...
I thought it was going to be the 12 Days of Fistmas for a
No,
second there.
but I genuinely, the lyric was 5 cock rings, I think. And then there was like one of them was like a trip to the STI clinic.
If only there were a way to find out.
It's so old.
Hannah Witton.
It's like from
I haven't
12,
seen this.
2014,
Amazing.
2015.
The 5 gold rings part of that song is technically copyright.
Called like
We need to not sing that bit.
Sexmas.
Sexmas.
12 days.
12 Days of Sexmas. Or just go on YouTube. I don't know why you're Googling this.
Well,
That's why we do it.
There we go.
Oh, there it is. That was that one. Oh, no.
Here we go, Steve. Let's go big on Lewis's.
Scream. Scream. Go big on Lewis's
I
scream.
can't remember what I put in this. I hate
It's
this.
probably, if it's 2 years old, it's probably deeply problematic.
No, it's 4 years old.
4 years old.
It's
definitely.
4 years old.
We're bad.
Oh, God. This is when people
Definitely
like
out
dig
there.
up your old shit. Okay. Why did I bring this up?
It's all right, Hannah.
Dan,
Don't
make
worry.
sure I
You should-
don't drink anymore.
Listen, it shouldn't be embarrassing.
I'm
Sex is
embarrassed.
not
I get embarrassed by watching my videos from 6 months ago. This was 4 years ago.
This
Well,
is good.
welcome to the fucking club.
A map to a sexual health.
Very nice.
That's near the one in Bristol, I imagine.
Surely you need that after the Christmas.
No, but this is
That's a bad sign. With your first
it's
day.
Like, no, on the first
You want to
day,
know
you
you're
gotta
clean
be
going
prepared.
into it.
Oh,
Yeah.
what? So is this okay? Let's just talk about this for a second. So when you
Yeah.
meet someone for the first time,
Yes.
and you obviously you should
You
wear
get yourself
protection,
tested.
totally.
Yeah.
You should get
But at
yourself
what
tested.
point, like but what point do you get yourself tested? Like when you know that you're
Well,
going
like,
to be like,
yeah, in between.
Well-
in
Well,
between
every new
relationships.
partner you should get yourself
Yeah,
tested.
Yeah,
every
yeah.
new partner.
Because that way
it's
you know to
probably-
blame. Oh, you. Oh,
It's probably
I was
also
clean before I met you.
Like, I get those conversations can be quite awkward, and people might not want to have them at,
Oh, Hannah,
at the
people-
beginning.
But can you buy a trip to a sex rehab clinic
no,
for your?
because that's
It's free on the
It's
NHS.
free.
Oh,
No, but just-
but maybe you give them a card that
You get
says
like a
Red letter day.
But maybe you say I've paid for a trip. 'Cause, then
but that's
they'll
what's
think,
happened
oh, okay,
here.
I'll
You could go
and
on
do
a
it.
date. That would be super fun.
Hannah,
With
people-
my first ever time at a sexual health clinic was with my current partner. We went together. It was
Do you
quite fun.
understand though, guys? This is like it's
Dan, did you know
insight
about this
into a
guy?
lady's mind. You could go. You could take
As far
it
as
to a
I'm
sexual
concerned,
health clinic.
Hannah never had any partners before me. That's
Yeah.
What's in my mind?
Yeah, no, I didn't date anyone before I met this man here. No.
Hannah, apparently people couldn't hear the sound. Did you want to give a live rendition now?
But I can't remember the lyrics to it. I don't know what day 2 is.
It's fine. So,
Oh, okay.
So
we're going to keep
the
playing.
first day of Christmas.
But things, I think this
A map to a sexual health clinic.
and it's from your bed all the way,
Yeah.
very specifically.
But really,
It's in a
you
nice area.
shouldn't have started
Sexual
there.
health clinic.
It
Yeah.
should have been before then. It should be before you get to the bed, segue sexual health clinic back
Yeah.
to bed.
You should really go get you should just always know your status.
Every single time
Just
I
know
make
your
love to my
status.
wife
It's always a
beforehand,
good time to know
I
your
go to the
status.
sexual health clinic. They say, "Not you again," and I say, "Go on, stick the thing down," and they do it. They take a swab. It's very painful.
No, it's not.
And
I don't think it is.
It is. And
So bad.
Would
But
you
the
like
thing
to
is
break
now it's
some-
great.
Would you like to break? Because I think men are
I love it.
terrified of going to sexual health clinics.
Yeah.
Should
Okay.
they be?
No,
It is-
you
it is. You shouldn't be. It is. You always feel slightly awkward going
Yeah.
in there though the first time, and then because it's always
when they're on
ladies
first
at
name
the counter,
terms.
like nurses,
Yeah, yeah.
and they look at you and you
They have seen
and
it
you
all
go-
before.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting in there, and there'll be a couple of girls in there as well, and you think, oh, they must think I'm terrible. But
Why?
I don't know.
They're
That's
there
that.
too.
Yeah, I know. But
But
you don't know what they're there for.
So you
They-
go
they-
there for
but I think-
contraception and
oh.
stuff. So you get free contraception at sexual health clinics.
Yeah.
Ladies, if they get implants or they get
Yeah.
injections and stuff for contraceptives, they're there as well. It's not just perverts like myself who are just there to see everyone else.
The
you
sexual
know.
health clinic, or as I call it, the leisure centre.
Exactly.
Yeah.
As I call it, just Tesco's car parks. But genuinely, so there's one just off Castle Park in Bristol. Lovely people, very
Okay.
friendly.
And
You might bump into Turps there if you go
clean,
there.
clean, still clean.
And
Clean since 2013.
if you live in
Very nice.
London, there's
Yeah.
one in Soho called Dean Street, and that one is
Tell them
actually,
Hannah sent you, and they say you're not the first. Trust me, mate.
that one is
Here's some
actually really
penicillin.
cool. All of the cool young kids go to.
Do you have a referral code, Hannah?
Yeah, yeah.
I don't.
You
No,
use the
but
code
again, 'cause
Hannah
it's
Witton at
free.
checkout.
But the Dean Street Clinic, and then they also have other ones in London. They give you a card, so that actually then when you go back,
get
you
loyalty
have a card, and
They give you a free coffee.
And it's just I have one. I don't have it with me, but I have a Dean Street card. And
There you
go
go.
back and they scan it, and they've already got your deets. And
There you go. Mary Bush.
Hey,
Yeah.
Look at that.
There we
Mary
go.
Bush, everyone.
Anyway, nothing embarrassing or weird about going to a sexual health
No, it's good.
clinic.
And also, I
So-
think the thing that men worry about is that they're going to put things in you.
Okay,
that's
Dan,
the
will
concern.
they put a thing in you?
In your chap's eye.
You're fine.
You're fine.
They might take a little swab from the end, but that's
They
as
don't
bad
put
as it
anything
gets.
down your dick
Yeah.
hole.
It's just a little
Are you
swab
sure?
at the end,
Yeah.
and they go, "Oh, you'll be all right."
And also, like,
Well, a week later.
the most recent times I've been, you go into a private room and you can do your swab yourself.
Wow.
Yeah. So they.
Is this a first for the
I
Yogscast,
do
by the
just
way?
an inside.
Can I
Doing
put
a
something down my
practical
dick hole if
sexual
I
health
want?
stream?
Good. Yeah.
You're free to do whatever you want.
Yeah. the only thing
Just not in
that,
front of the nurses. They might ask questions.
The only thing that they need to do for you is the blood test, which is for HIV
Yeah.
and syphilis. When syphilis is on the rise, so definitely get that blood test.
Yeah.
Get the blood test, guys.
Is that the one that makes your nose fall off? One of them makes your nose fall off.
That's leprosy.
That's scary.
What did the
Classic
leper say to the
Is that what the pirates
spy
were
No,
doing?
because
when they
I
were
always get
scurvy?
mixed up between syphilis and scurvy, because syphilis is also seen as a really old-timey venereal disease, but actually,
Well, howdy,
it's
partner.
got a comeback.
It was a huge problem in the First World War, I think. Because
Yeah.
there was that channel, The Great War, that just ended recently. It was doing the World War I every
The guy
week.
died of
Oh,
syphilis.
syphilis.
Yeah, and they
Yeah.
and they were doing they did a thing about sexual health in the,
The ladies
trenches.
in France.
Yeah, because they
used to
didn't.
go
They
to back
didn't.
line.
Some troops, I think it was Americans, didn't get birth control. They didn't
Yeah.
get given condoms.
The,
whereas I think
the
Brits
Germans gave
did.
the German army condoms, but
Right.
the Americans and the British did not give their troops condoms.
Yeah.
But this is actually, okay, you've got a PhD, but I also have a bachelor's degree, which is not the same.
They're not the same,
But in
but go on.
my dissertation,
not the same.
in my dissertation, one of the things that I mentioned was about there was some records of like in a space
Syphilis.
of a week or something, there were more cases in the First World War of venereal disease than of trench foot.
Really?
Oh,
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because you had the trenches, and then like a bit farther back from the trenches, which
Yeah,
is
the
like
brothels.
bustling towns and brothels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think the brothels like sprung up partly
Yeah.
to just
Well,
service the servicemen.
well, no, but equally, the army put them in there.
But you also have
There's
to
a lot of-
understand
lot
that
of-
the kind
in the
of
Second
men
World
in
War,
the
they were
army.
an army institution. The
Yeah.
Nazis had
Academic
like armies
definition.
run
Yeah.
run
I mean, Simon would win.
But
He's a
soldiers
PhD.
were 18
I'm also
to
a bigger
25
dickhead.
years old. You know, they
Younger
were
than
like,
that. Yeah,
they were
exactly,
like
yeah.
prime.
Yeah.
Like sexual activity
Exactly.
age.
There you
Anyway.
go.
Also, they were hyped up.
Can
on
we hear
butt
about? I want to hear
load
day 2. Let's go back to the.
Oh my God.
That was day
Yeah.
1.
I think this is great advice.
Okay, well, we'll see what happens.
On the second day of sex, Miss My True Love gave to me 2 packs of condoms.
Okay.
That's great.
Yeah.
Way more than 2. What's going on there? With 2 boxes of condoms there.
You get packs of like
Yeah,
20
okay.
pounds.
Yeah, yeah.
Pack of
Okay.
lots.
Depends how.
Okay. I'll allow it.
Pack is 1 syllable. Boxes.
Do you
is
have
2
like
syllables.
1 sentence of advice on condom use?
Oh my God.
Condoms?
Seriously, just use a.
Wash them out, turn them
condom.
inside out, and they're good to go.
No.
Yeah, two uses.
My
Don't
house,
do that.
my ex-housemate in
Don't
Exeter,
wash them
his
out.
Christmas tree is currently covered with condoms because he didn't have any other Christmas decorations.
Oh, I love
No.
So he
that.
just
Nice.
used, Dan, mate, you made it on the Yogscast. 'Cause
That's
you've
good
got
though. You
a,
can just
a Johnny tree.
You can just pull one off.
It's like the Joshua tree, but covered in condoms.
That's nice.
Oh, I realised
Like
the
Joshua
reason why
tree.
we got to this is because we've got sex toys on our Christmas tree because of that advent calendar. Anyway, I
just wanna
realised that's how we got.
Say about condoms. You might need a bigger one. Just saying.
There are so many different kinds of condoms. This is true. You get the condom that
Great.
works for you.
You might need a bigger one.
Or a
That's all.
smaller
You
one.
might think normal
Yeah.
ones are fine. 'Cause you might
Also-
think you're average, but actually they might be a little bit
Also,
tight,
if
and you
you're
don't
sharing
realise.
sex toys,
And then
condoms.
you're like, well, maybe.
Excuse me, what? What did you say, Hannah?
You're sharing sex toys.
Oh, if you're sharing sex toys, use condoms on the sex toys.
We do actually have a
There we
donator who's asked that question. We should,
Oh, really?
point out. Tom Bombadil's donated $35 and said, "How do I ensure that my sex toys are not used by family when they visit over Christmas?
I mean, hide them.
They're hidden away, but family tend to snoop around."
Okay, but if they find them, would they then be like, oh,
Yeah.
great, I found a free sex
Straight
toy. I'm
up.
going to use it now.
It's not like
What?
looting in a
Yeah.
game.
What?
Yeah.
You're opening a drawer in
think-
Skyrim. It's like,
I
butt
feel
plug.
maybe they're more concerned about like children running around the house waving them.
Oh,
around.
that'd be fun.
The wobbly
though.
sausage.
No, but then you
thing.
do a lightsaber battle, don't you? You put on Duel of the Two Fates. Da 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 da. You know,
Yeah.
that. You know,
Swing.
exactly.
Smash yourself in the face.
Yeah.
Put condoms on your sex toys that get inserted, and also you can buy sex toy cleaner.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Is that a person or is that a substance?
It can be a spray.
Yeah.
It can be a wipe.
I'll do it. I'll just come around and lick them clean. It's fine. Don't mind me.
Maybe no, that wouldn't work.
God help me.
Steve, I'm with
Hey,
you. Just a
I
second.
got to make ends meet.
Can they hear Steve?
God.
No, they can't hear Steve.
They can't
Only
hear
we
Steve.
can.
Steve just told Turps off.
Yeah.
He
Fine.
is an absolute.
Right, day 3. Let's go.
Oh, what
Turn a
happens?
map to a sexual
yeah, 'cause-
health
Okay, I see how it works.
On
Okay.
the third day of sex, Miss My True Love gave to me 3 tubes of lube, 2 packs of condoms, and
Lube.
a map
Right,
to
stop.
a sexual health.
Right.
Lubis Brindley here.
Lube.
Lube.
Super important.
Use it.
Really important. Lube is great.
Really great.
The more lube, the better.
There you go. Well,
Especially for
you
butt
get too
stuff.
much.
Oh,
get too
well,
much.
no. For butt stuff, it's absolutely necessary.
Yes.
Because your butt doesn't produce natural lubricant.
Yeah.
So it needs the
Super,
extra help.
super important, Lewis.
You can never have too much lube.
Well, you can,
You can get different
because then it's, you can lose all sensation. It's a
There's
friction
chocolate
game.
one that you really like.
Yep.
Maybe you need to lose that sensation. Turps.
What's happening here?
Lubron Advanced Oils. Amazing. Thank you.
Right.
Water-based.
Food grade.
Oh, yeah. So you know your stuff.
Yeah,
Water
yeah.
or silicone based, not oil based. I
Don't
had
use
this problem
oil-based.
when I was a teenager and we needed some lube and all we had was Vaseline, condom broke. And that was a trip to the sexual health clinic.
There you go. Certain.
Yes, so you can't use silicone lube on silicone toys because that will erode it. Thank you, Steve.
Steve,
It causes
Steve.
electricity.
But water-based lube, you're good. You're good to go.
Or
Health
spit.
Clinic.
Or spit.
On the 4th day of sex, Miss My True Love gave to me 4 sexy songs.
Aw,
4 sexy songs.
Okay, this is.
What's a
let's take
sexy song?
Well, let's take
Oh.
it back a bit. This is like a foreplay thing, but it's also like just a general,
Do you sing
Like
to
a
your
mixtape.
sexual partners?
like a chill
I
thing.
always.
Okay, there's one song that I think is like the best strip song,
Okay.
which is Mr. Writer by the Stereophonics. Not because of the lyrics, but that like that.
Oh, it's like
Wanna tell it like
do
it
you,
is.
Do you want to know by the Arctic
You wanna
Monkeys?
tell it
It's
like
another
it
good- it's another
really
like that.
is. I fucking love that song.
You
It's
can
a great-
also ask Alexa to play sexy music.
like,
Oh, really? And what do you do?
Yeah, there's Spotify
Really?
playlists that are sexy time
it's
music.
just going to be a playlist, isn't it? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's not Alexa's interpretation. Bow, chicka,
It's
wow,
just All
wow.
Star on repeat.
Yeah.
200 versions of All
Oh,
Star.
that'd be brilliant.
Or you can just ask her to play fart sounds, which
Yeah.
also works.
I did that on my
Let's
Google
just-
Home the other
let's
day.
just get
Tubes
through
of lube,
this.
2 packs of condoms, and a map to a sexual health.
Can we all join in with the last
We can,
verse?
we can
can.
stop this if you're uncomfortable.
No, hang on, I'm listening.
Do you know, I'm genuinely curious as to what they are.
5 car grill.
Oh, what a fucking shot there as well. Cinematography.
And
And a part to a sexual
Why
health
don't I
clinic.
have a million
On the 6th
subscribers?
day of
So-
sex, Miss
Hang on,
My
here we
True
go.
Love gave
Oh, what
to
happened on
me
day 6?
6 clip vibrators, 5
Right, okay.
6 clit vibrators.
6 clip vibrators.
Okay.
So
So
Such
first
as-
of all, cock rings, click vibrators. This
we're
is
starting to get into more of a Batman scenario here, where you've got the utility belt, okay, and like shark repellent spray, like a job for every tool, every task. How important on the list?
Of clit vibrators?
Yeah.
It's super important because most people with clits, that is like the main way that they would be able to orgasm.
and the majority of women do have clits, right?
Yeah. By people with clits.
2018, Lewis. 2018.
I
Don't even have to have a vagina.
try and be like gender inclusive in my
Yeah,
life.
exactly.
That's what
Yeah,
I'm trying
yeah.
to do. That's what I try
But I
to do.
hear you there.
But
I
yeah.
hear you.
But people with clits, it's like that might be the main way that they orgasm.
Good.
That's why it's important.
Cock rings.
So I love that shot. I love that shot.
There
The
is 4
genius.
sexy
Three
songs,
tubes
3
of
tubes
lube,
of lube,
two
2
packs
packs
of
of
condoms,
condoms,
and
and
a
a
map
map
to
to
a
a sexual health clinic.
Here we go.
Sing
Come on
along.
now.
7th
Ooh,
day
what
of
happens
sex,
now?
must my true love give to me. 7 dental dams.
Oh!
What
Wow.
a freeze frame.
That was sharp.
Vibrators 5.
So hang on.
Cock ring.
The dental dam.
So the dental dam
I don't really.
is a
I haven't
really...
even seen
Okay,
one,
so
I
do
don't think.
you know what? That actually wasn't a dental dam. That was a condom that I cut in half.
Amazing.
So a
All
dental...
credibility lost.
Does that work?
It's just we did it.
Can you do that? If you can't find one,
Honestly,
colour Johnny in
every
hand.
time I hear you say
you
cock
can.
rings, like
So you
causing me
can
problems.
contract STIs through oral sex too, and so it's like if you're giving oral sex to a vulva, you can't put a condom on that. So how do you protect yourself? And the idea is that you just get like the material of a condom, but just in a sheath, which is called a dental dam, which has like a horrible name. It's a really
Yeah, it
horrendous
sounds like
word.
you're going to get
But
like
they
a
use-
gum
but
shield
it's
fitted.
Originally a thing used by dentists
By-
for a specific function. I don't
Exactly.
know what
I
that
see.
function
Yeah,
is.
Damning
I-
with us.
yeah, I'm
Probably licking.
It was when back in the day when dentists...
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
like barbers. They used to be surgeons. Dentists also used to dam rivers.
Really?
That's where it- yeah.
Amazing.
But
Is that why they call it a beaver?
Yeah.
Oh, well, there you go.
That's science for you.
Yay, science!
I've got to contribute something to this fucking stream, guys.
Use
so
the
sorry.
microscope image. Ah, it's too late. It's too
We'll
late.
get onto my PhD thesis eventually, I'm sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Cock
there you go.
rings.
Dental dam's
4
important.
sexy
songs,
songs. 3
three
tubes of
lube,
lube.
2 packs of Johnnies and a map to a sexual health clinic.
It has the wrong number of syllables.
Here we
though.
go.
Don't criticise the fucking song
write
chart.
this?
How is that
4 years
helping us?
ago.
This was YouTube in 2014.
They didn't
What,
have
syllables work
syllables.
differently
No,
back
they didn't have them then.
Rhyme
I'm
back
pretty
then.
sure I had less than 100,000 subscribers when I made this. So this,
Oh, you were insignificant.
this was the joys of like no audience. Let's just do what the fuck we want.
Okay.
I'm enjoying it. Okay.
Okay, Steve's going
warning
away.
us
So we've got
to
2
not
minutes
get
to get us
banned in
banned.
the
Okay,
next
we
2
can do
True love
that.
gave to me.
Here we go.
8 anal beads.
Oh,
Bang! It's over.
We did it!
Can we have a quick break? Can I have a quick break?
We did it, Steve! We did it! We did it.
my
Okay,
God.
anal beads. And specifically 8 anal beads. Like, are they all? Or is it one at a time?
But it could be like the beads, like
On a string,
Yeah,
increasing
so-
sizes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
and the
can we please? Yeah,
the
that's my life.
lawnmower, you know.
Oh, that's better. That's not better. That's not better. Oh, that's not better.
I like this. Beautiful, wholesome image. It looks like, that's all, folks. It looks like, you know.
This goes on your penis.
JK, it's a cock ring. Okay.
I'm so sorry. Also, I have not watched this. I don't remember what happens in this.
I just like 8 anal beads. Just like
8
it's
anal
like
beads.
I ain't gonna give her just 1 anal bead. No. 8. 8.
I felt it didn't. You almost didn't want to hold it in your hands, like in front of the camera. You felt like your ass would be more appropriate.
I'd be like
Probably,
nunchucking
it was
them.
probably because I didn't have any.
Oh, I see.
So I was like using what I had, which was my arse.
Very wholesome of you.
All I had available to me was my arse.
You do realise now
Sound like
that you're
Professor
going to have to see
Lockhart.
my butt like 4 more times.
That's
That's
Do it.
how terrible.
You know what? We're gonna soldier through it. Let's carry on. Let's see what the ninth day has to us.
But the other thing is this, so you see this blue top that I was wearing? I lost that and I'm
What, the
devastated.
Dunder Mifflin top?
Because I really
That's
liked
mine.
that top and I lost it and I don't know where
Is
it
that painful to watch this then?
You know,
That's the
genuinely.
most embarrassing thing about this video.
My first thought when this came up was like, oh, I missed that top.
Amazing.
If anyone out there knows where to buy it, let us know.
It was from Primark.
Okay, oh, it's gone then. It's dead to time. Here we go.
9 pregnancy test. 8
Oh!
dental dams. 6
Stop pausing it.
What do I want to be? Okay.
Right, pregnancy tests. So I can speak quite well on these.
go on.
So they get more effective the more pregnant you are. Like if you take one at 9 months, you can see the baby when you're doing it. But so when me and my wife got pregnant,
You got pregnant as well?
You get
That's
pregnant
what
as a
it's
couple.
called.
You get pregnant. You do. I went through a lot of physical changes. Trust me.
Wow.
You just put on weight.
I put on a
Just
lot of
accept
weight.
it.
I put on a lot
boobs
of weight.
got a lot bigger.
Yeah, very sensitive nipples still to this day. But the little tiny little like line or the plus sign or whatever, like when we like had it, we didn't really see it. And then I was like, hang on, I think I see it. And it was like, oh, hang on, are we pregnant? And then we took another test like a few days later, and the line was much more visible. We're thinking, holy shit. Looking like we don't. And it's hormones, exactly. And so it takes time. But you can check actually nowadays, like super early, like after like 3 weeks.
Oh, this is actually a good opportunity for some science.
Here we
I'm
go.
not taking a pregnancy test if that's
Let's
what
do
you're
it.
No,
I will.
I meant
So it can test for also like prostate cancer or something. There's like there was
really?
something where a guy on Reddit like I tested positive, and they were like,
Oh, I remember this.
You
Yeah.
should get yourself checked for something. I forget what it was.
Yeah,
Is that to do with like hormonal changes?
Yeah.
Do you know what it is?
Yeah.
So
Get a finger up your bum. Honestly, I'm all.
It's,
I'm
that,
on-
it's like we're so advanced as a civilization. If you would just cough for me, sir, you're fine.
So
Yes.
That's not what
one of
happened.
the interesting things is the history of pregnancy tests. So when I interviewed my grandma for my book about like her
You
sex
say
ed.
this is your great grandma.
No, this is my
Oh,
grandma,
this is actual
not my.
grandma.
But I
Okay.
also interviewed her, but this is from my grandma, and she.
You little slut.
Yeah, that's what she said. No, she's my biggest fan.
There's no such thing as a slut, Lewis.
There's no such thing as a slut.
Hannah,
I'm
got your
sorry,
back here.
Thank
but the
you
older
so-
generation are not necessarily
But so she was saying
as
that
liberated as we are.
when she thought she was pregnant, and she went to the clinic to be like, think we're pregnant, but they don't have the same like pee on the stick tests that they have.
They had to drink it, didn't they?
This was in the 1960s, and apparently, during this interview, she just said to me, they said they didn't have any frogs, so they couldn't do the test, and they said that my nipples were active, so I must have been pregnant. And I was like, hold on a second. So when I know, right? So I go home, and I'm like, what the hell does
There's
this
a
mean
waxing
about
moon
frogs?
and then a green cloud.
Yeah.
And also all the lizards have left the pond.
Roll 2d6.
We say this, but this is science. So I Googled frogs pregnancy tests 1960s. And what comes up is that apparently what they used to do was it was frogs and mice and rabbits, I think. And if you got any of those animals when they were like immature or mature, whatever
I thought
it is.
they were going to get inserted.
Whatever
Thank
that
fuck.
word is,
Oh,
when
juvenile.
it's like, yeah.
Juvenile?
And then what you do is that you take the woman's pee and then you inject the animal with the pee, and if that animal goes into heat, it means that woman was pregnant.
How much pee do you inject?
I don't know.
If it's a
that.
frog, is it just like a balloon now of pee?
Yeah, but then if it goes into
you
heat,
can
it,
chuck
I
it.
think means that if it then starts,
Yeah,
Well, yeah, it's like
Yeah,
it's fertile, ready for.
then it's
whatever.
ready to go. And that's how they tested it, because that hormone reacted with like those animals. And so that's apparently why this clinic was like, sorry, we don't have any frogs left.
Sorry, all out of frogs.
We're all out of frogs.
We've been injecting them with pee all week. Valentine's Day last week. It's fucking crazy in here.
Yeah, but apparently
We've
there was,
injected all the
like,
cats and dogs.
Bloody dirty French, they're eating the frogs. They're perverts. Come
Apparently
on.
there's this old like slang phrase for like, you know how we say like up the duff or like bun in the oven?
Yeah.
There's like an old slang phrase that's something
Like
to
a
do with
frog
a
on
rabbit.
heat.
There's something to do with a rabbit that means
Piss
that you're
injected
pregnant.
rabbit.
Like,
Oh.
yeah, but I can't remember what that was. But it's wild.
Bunny in the oven.
Oh, darling, you're looking so rosy today, like a rabbit injected with pee.
Yeah. You're like Bugs Bunny who's been, had a golden shower.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's
Lovely.
something that I learned.
Here we go. Let's carry on.
Cock
Rings. Four sexy songs. Three straps of lube. Two packs of Johnnies. And a trip to the sexual health clinic.
On the 10th day of sex,
So we're
Miss
the big
True Love
ones.
gave to me 10 squirts of spermicide. No,
10 squirts of spermicide.
Do you know what?
I thought it was going to be 10 inches.
Clearly, what I've now realised that this is mostly about sexual health, but also spermicide is kind of outdated. But you can use it; it's fine.
4 years.
So
Times have changed.
how is it outdated? What do you use now?
Well, so a lot of people just
Anthrax.
don't use spermicide anymore.
Acid.
But like spermicide would be used with a diaphragm, which was a form of contraception, but diaphragms just aren't that effective. But before we had
What is a diaphragm?
So
It's
a
like
diaphragm is
a
like a cap.
Yeah.
Like a reverse condom.
It's a
Yeah,
cup.
so you put it inside. No, but there is like female condoms that go inside, which are different. But the diaphragm's like a cap that you put inside, and you can put it inside like something like up to X amount of hours. I can't remember before you have sex, and then you have to leave it in for a certain amount of time after sex.
And then you
You
go
got to
to the
wait for
club.
all the sperm to die.
Yeah, but then you like spray the diaphragm with spermicide, which like helps. But it's not the most.
But the thing is since you can get the hand sanitizer so readily now, just use that.
that probably won't kill sperm. Do you know what? I don't know. Spermicide does them.
I've had 2 kids. I think
Oh, have any of you seen the film
That's where you can go wrong.
Have any of you seen the film Megamind?
Yes.
The one with Brad Pitt in. And,
Yeah. And Will Ferrell, yeah.
Okay, so you know how like spoilers, he's in that dome and he's like, my weakness, it's copper, and then like
Because the coil.
right. So
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
like the hyper-masculine superhero character.
So we invented a
And
character
he
like
gets
this.
killed off because his weakness is copper, and the reason why the IUD, which is the copper coil, works as a contraceptive is because copper is toxic to sperm. And I'm like, did the writers of Megamind know this when they wrote that their hyper-masculine character?
So
that its only weakness
so we
is
tried
copper?
to write a character.
Did
I
they
think
know
he
that?
was
Saying that he's made of sperm.
Well, he's hyper-masculine,
We-
and
we-
so he's like represents.
Lewis.
like
do you remember for the animation we
full-sized
we
sperm.
pitched Seaman, you know, who could see.
He was really good at
And
seeing.
Was he very
and he was like I'm coming for crime
yeah.
and stuff like that, and he was.
We're
you know,
still going to use him.
well, maybe.
spoil it.
Anyway, but yeah,
Was
so
this day 10 or day 11?
we're day 10.
10 was
We had
spermicide.
10
yeah.
squirts of
So
spermicide.
the other thing about pregnancy tests is just like always make sure you have one at home, because then if you have a pregnancy scare, you don't have to go to the shop and buy
Bam.
one. You just have one at home.
They,
ready to go.
they can be expensive if you buy like the posh ones,
Yeah.
but they're not that bad. If you go for like, you can get like 3 in a pack for like,
yeah.
Frogs are free, though.
like frogs as well. But it's the fucking
If you could
syringes.
go fishing.
So I always say to my wife, just
Frog.
piss on it, piss on the frog.
Come here, you slippery
yeah,
bastard.
yeah, exactly.
I want to know if I've got a son.
always do the tricksy switcheroo though.
Always have a spare, like everything, like a toothpaste spare,
Yeah.
some lube spare. Just keep a bit of
Yeah.
everything. You never
Yeah.
know. Never know when you're going to
Anal
run out.
beads.
Prepared.
Be
Anal
prepared.
beads.
That's
Says
Boy
8 anal
Scouts
beads.
marching
Get
crew.
9 anal beads.
Just
add
be
1 to all of these things.
prepared.
Right, let's have a look. Let's see what else we got.
pregnancy tests, 8 anal beads, 7 dental dams, 6
Could you, if you redid this, could you add like a shaker sound effect to the anal beads bit? I
See,
just
the
think,
reason
yeah.
why this is a cappella is because I have actually no talent with
sexual
music.
health.
No, you've got a good
clinic.
singing
Do you know what
voice.
I've realised as
great.
well? I thought you were recycling them, but you've actually sung this the whole way through.
Yeah,
haven't you?
yeah.
Oh, have I?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
Oh,
think that's what
yeah.
you've done because I can hear that you're like,
Struggling to read
yeah,
the list.
I'm going to just record it through once and then just cut.
But now, Turps, little test for
Again,
you.
this
Can
was
you,
this
can
was
you
like,
go all the way through?
I wasn't even
so
doing
far?
YouTube full
Yeah,
time,
yeah,
when I
yeah,
made
yeah.
this, so I didn't know this.
So what do you want to go from? So what were
All
we
the way through from so
from?
far.
Well, we haven't done the 12.
Wait till we get to the
On the
12th
11th
day.
day
Yeah.
of
Oh, we
sex,
haven't done
Miss
11.
Marshall gave to me 11 female condoms, 10
Oh, there
squirts
we
of
go,
sperm
that's
sweat,
what you were
9
asking
pregnancy
about. We've
tests,
already
8
had those.
anal
So
they're
beads,
like
7
internal
dental dams,
condoms.
6 clip
And actually, do you know what? I've learned a lot since
5
making this, because now I wouldn't call it a female condom, I would call it an internal condom.
Right. What would you call a clip vibrator?
A clip vibrator.
Four
know.
sexy songs, 2 packs of condoms, and a map
shit.
to a sexual
Okay.
health
Click.
clinic.
Right, the
On
big
the
one.
12th
Oh,
day
here we
of
go.
Christmas, my true love gave
It's
to
going to
me
be so anticlimactic.
An orgasm,
12
finally.
naked photos.
Oh wow!
Okay.
12
Hang on,
Back to drench.
why was that not day 1? You only get 1 of that. This is how you weren't playing the YouTube game right. That could have been a thumbnail. Here we go.
Bam.
10,
Twitch.
but you get
So-
you get 12 sexy photos.
Well, yeah, but you would have got 12 if it was day 1, and we would have had the sexy
If it was
photo
the
thing
11th
happen
day,
every
you would have
time.
got
You get 12
Exactly.
sexy photos.
How do you
So-
feel about nudes? I've never sent a nude to anyone, and I never go.
Really?
Do you know what?
I think that's a lie, Lewis,
because you
'cause I have
are
this
a
picture
public
here.
figure, I would avoid it, especially with your face in it, just because people can use that as ammo.
Because that's
Right.
you.
Because that'll turn people right
No,
off.
no, exactly. Especially with your face in it. I like that. Just because, I mean, you may be down there, but up here, oh, no.
I just think that, like, sending nudes is a lot of fun, but once it's out of your hands, it is literally out of your hands. And,
You
like,
have to-
even if you 100% trust the person you're sending it to,
I don't
But you always
trust
say, like,
Steve
the
Jobs.
question is,
And
if this
adults.
picture ended up on the internet, how upset would I be?
yeah, that's what
That's what you got to ask
Don't say
yourself
yes.
before you
Like,
send
it
it.
probably won't.
It's not about me.
But if it did, would I be
Fuck it.
mad.
Go on. He's not worse on these streams.
on the stream already.
Exactly. Don't send it to me.
Right, so was it 12 sexy photos?
So hang on. So
Are you
12
gonna
sexy
sing along?
photos,
12 sexy
11 internal condoms. I'm going to update it. No, we're updating it.
We're updating it for 20.
11...
Condoms, 10.
no. 11 squirts of
sing along.
spermicide.
10 spermicide.
No. 10 squirts of spermicide. 9
Pregnancy.
ladies.
There was
The pregnancy test. 8 anal beads. I remember that one.
Yeah,
7 dental dams.
7 dental
Yep.
grams.
6 clip vibrators. 5 cock rings. 4
Oh, that's a great.
4 squirts of no,
4 sexy songs.
4 sexy songs, 3 squirts of lube, 2 packs of condoms, and a trip to the sexual health clinic. Bam! Amazing.
Thank you.
Amazing.
everyone.
Thank you for doing this.
Holy shit! That
For
fucking
letting
what a
me
song!
revisit that.
What a fucking song!
What a gem. Also, look, I put tinsel in the background. You're welcome.
I think that's a huge commitment there. Cards
Yeah.
Against Humanity. I can see.
Lolita is behind you
Great
there.
game. Oh, I read Lolita. That is a disturbing
That's a
book.
fucking Jesus.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
haven't. I've read The Hobbit. I've
Have
not
you-
read the rest of the.
Oh, that's a disturbing book as well. Jesus.
The Hobbit.
I always make sure I have a hobbit with me on these journeys. You never quite know if you're gonna.
Why do you want to
Get
destroy
lonely.
my ring, Mr. Frodo?
It's just very strange. Gandalf, who's like seemingly, this all-powerful being.
to destroy your ring,
Yeah.
Frodo.
What? You never quite know when a hobbit comes in handy. Everyone's feeling a bit down. Don't worry. Let's pass the hobbit around. It's weird.
Right. Sasquatch.
It's weird.
Thank you for
Sasquatch.
donating to the bundle. Anonymous says, I have a lump on my dick. Scientifically, why? And will it help my sex life?
If it's in the right place, it might be, like
It also
rib
depends
for
what kind
her
of lump
pleasure.
it is, because there's lots of things that can. lead
yeah,
to
and also depends on the shape and size of whatever you might.
If you're
be
concerned
putting it
about
into.
anything like that, visit your local doctor.
Yeah,
and he will
none
probably
of us
reassure
are
you.
like
They,
medical
fine,
doctors.
but
They.
We
They.
may have
No,
a
definitely
science
not.
They,
PhD
sorry.
doctor. But
Very different.
You can
Have a heart
request
attack, I'm
a-
stuck with you.
I showed him my
Doctor of
dick and he
your
was
gender.
like, wrong kind of doctor. Wrong kind of doctor. I said, no, I don't think so.
I mean, I would probably prefer.
I didn't
to have
realise that
a
when
male
you
doctor
donated
if I went with
that
a problem
you
with
could
my dick, and
send
you
a
can request that.
Because I donated.
Yeah.
How long have you been watching the Yogscast, Hannah?
Well,
5 minutes.
it's because when I donated, I didn't realise I could send a message. At
So
the time.
humble.com/yogs.
There you
You
go.
go down to the bottom, you click donate. $35 or more gets you the bundle of games.
Yeah, I did
that's
that.
over $800 worth of games.
Yes.
But for $5 or more, you can send a message. So when you then,
didn't do that.
so when you go to your redemption page, where you get all your game keys, the top one of those should be key. Send
to send us a
Yogs,
message, yeah.
Yogscast message.
And if you've bought the
There you
bundle,
go.
you can actually, and you haven't left a message, you can leave a message now.
And if
on
you've
your-
already bought the
Well,
bundle,
I'll be
you can
doing that.
add
You
to your
better answer my
donation
question if I do
by
that.
clicking
Okay.
on the like what we're doing, and you can send another message.
You might not
for
like the
adding to your
answer.
donation.
Did you like me? No.
It's nice that Hannah donated. That's good. Click. There
Click.
you go. Click.
Nick,
Next one.
Nick Cifuentes says, hey guys, been a fan for a long time, since ages ago. Now my younger 13-year-old brother is getting a PC for Christmas, and the bundle will be his first games.
What a
so you
great
are
brother.
setting up a next generation of gamers. Thank you very much. Thank you,
Thank you,
dude.
Nick.
Thank you, Nick.
Thank you,
Hey, Steve,
Eve.
can we change this background?
He
picture?
says Eve.
I like this. This is good. So what? Good one, because you seem sad there.
I seem nervous and anxious about.
I can-
Wait, was-
Nine
It's-
I
pregnant.
can get it to like a
No,
nicer...
do the next one. Wait on 9. Pause it there. There we go. Right.
Band.
7 dental dams. 6 clip vibrators.
Okay,
Go! That's all, folks.
we're done. Gamer Coke, thank you very much indeed. Bashful Carrot says, Lewis looks desperate to salivate. If anything, my mouth's very dry right now.
Do you drink? Yeah, you need a drink.
I do. Anon says, Hannah, do you know much about asexuality?
I do know bits. Yes. Do you know about asexuality?
So asexuality is when you're not sexual.
Well, you're not.
So
yeah.
it means
Like
that
you've
you
got no
don't
drive.
experience sexual attraction and desire, but it's on a spectrum.
Okay.
Still, so you could potentially experience it in rare cases or in certain situations.
Just with me.
And it doesn't mean that people who are asexual don't have sex. It just means that they don't experience that drive or drive is like the word that people who are what's the word? It's like Z sexual is the word, one of the words that would describe someone who's on the opposite side of the spectrum to someone who is asexual.
So Z sexual is incredibly sexual.
yeah.
I'm what they call
Yeah.
Like an
trisexual.
info.
And then so demisexual is someone who is and also all of these things are just like on such a sliding scale, but demisexual would be someone who is sexually attracted to someone once they've developed
Just a
emotional
Demi Moore.
Woo-too.
I love striptease, and I love what other film Ashton Kutcher.
Yeah.
Anything he's
Thank
been
you.
in. And Bruce Willis.
Derpy
Anyone who's been
Muffin
with Demi Moore.
92. Thank you very much. Donating money, love, and support on her half.
Was she in Under Siege?
In Hannah's stream.
I feel like she is.
Derpy Muffin 92.
Hannah's stream. This is Hannah's stream.
This is Hannah's stream. And don't worry, Simon. No, it's fine.
All right, I am
We'll
here
get
too,
to you.
guys.
You're the second half. You're the
Chloe
second half.
has donated. I haven't been able to tune in much this year, so I'd like school. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chloe.
Thanks, Chloe.
Ral Kago, thank you. I'm just sort of reading donations. Zach Aranda says,
I
Hannah,
didn't get that at all, Lewis. Thank you for clarifying.
big fan of your channel.
None of these things are me.
Oh,
by the way.
Hannah, big fan of your channel.
Yeah. If you were a guy, would you grow a beard?
Oh, it's interesting.
Oh,
Just
I
a
don't
yes,
know.
no.
Like, probably no.
Okay.
I don't think you can make the decision until you've had to shave every day.
Yeah, that's
At that point,
actually,
I'm like,
that's true. I might do what you do, which is like the trim, but keep.
Also, what if you started
shit
getting a
Tony
bit of a
Stark.
sort
Wow.
of plump, fatty chin, you know? I mean, you've got
You
nice
pick a
at the
chin. That's a
moment,
nice
but
thing. When you shave, you can pick a chin.
You can hide your...
You can say like,
flabby
oh,
chin.
you know what?
You haven't had that
that's a
problem where you've
jawline.
looked in the mirror and you've got this flabby chin and you're... Oh,
A gowl, if they will.
Not
Yeah.
yet. But I
When that happens, you'll be thinking, oh, absolutely, I'd love a beard. Well, Hannah, if you got married, would the decision of whether to change your name be affected by your name being your brand?
Oh, good question. And I have thought about this.
No pressure, Dan.
If I marry this one, we've decided.
I've got a name.
If I married Dan,
What is your surname? Without doxing you, Dan.
Well, the thing is that I don't want to tell people your surname because that. would
I'd
give
love it
you-
if it was like
Yeah.
Bannon.
Wonderful.
So you'd be Hannon
That's very
Bannon.
mysterious. I enjoy
Yeah.
that.
Hannah
I enjoy
Bannon.
that. Okay.
Okay.
Cool.
But we kind of decided that if we got married, we would combine our surnames.
To be.
To
That's
make,
my
a, to, make
way
a
of like-
new,
Like Voltron.
to make a new surname.
Witten
And then-
Hitler.
No, I'm Jewish. Are you joking?
Oh. Uh-oh.
I'd like it. I'd like it.
Anyway, but that name, I feel like if we got married and had kids, that name would be private for us and the kids, and then Hannah Witton would still be my public
I
name.
see.
Like the
So
way
do you
that-
know, just to explain to you, without, sorry,
Oy
I'm
vey.
going to mansplain here.
No,
You
go
probably
on.
know this. If you change your name when you get married, your old name still is legally your name. So you would still legally be Hannah Witton, as
I
well
actually
as
didn't know
whatever new. So you could, like, legally still have credit cards and banking information, all the legal stuff, and you're still that person. You also
Yeah.
are known by another name legally as well.
I wouldn't
So there you
want
go.
the new name to be public.
Well, exactly, and that's
Yeah.
kind of handy because
Yeah,
then you
yeah.
can take out loans. You can start racking up some debt against this motherfucker. It's joint account. It's joint
Joint-
account. Exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
Boom.
Son of Mans says, nice to see that Simon is able to put his PhD to great use with this stream.
He already said his main thesis is about dick plungers.
It's named after a dick joke.
Yeah.
It is known. Yeah.
Rory says, Simon, how hard do you need to fuck a mermaid in order for the atmosphere to combat the effects of climate change?
It's a good
Great
question.
question.
It's a good question.
Thank
So
you,
we're talking
Rory.
either traditional mermaid or reverse mermaid
Right.
or giant fish.
Well, the thing is, by fucking a mermaid, you're going to be introducing heat into the atmosphere. Well, there's two processes.
And
of
rest
Do you know
Byron.
what? I don't. Okay, so I've watched a few of these streams and I've heard you talk about this mermaid fucking conundrum many times.
The answer is obvious, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, exactly. And which is the mermaid gives you a
You fuck
blowjob.
the mermaid very safely.
No, the mermaid gives you a blowjob because then you
missing
get
out on that
human
delicious-
mermaid and you get sex.
Whoa!
Or it's a human lower
species.
half. Because
What about
fish don't have vaginas.
No, but that's the thing. but-
Exactly, so you can't
But
do
the-
anything
the
down
giant
there. But
fish
would you?
head.
Yeah, exactly. Would you
Giant-
fuck something that had a fish head?
Giant. No, I want it in proportion.
Obviously,
A
you
giant
get the
fish
mermaid
head
to give you
with
oral
some
sex.
sexy legs. Well, I don't know. I think again, yeah,
That's
probably.
what I would do.
Probably. Obviously, they're based on
If they were into it.
Is it manatees? Manatees are what meant
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
theorized
Yeah.
to be. So, would you fuck a manatee? And the answer is always yes. Like,
That
holy
sweet
Steve, get us a manatee background. That gets some extra
They're
views.
What was that? What's that Netflix
Marianne.
show that we're watching? That
Yeah, Beezus says, Turps, what's your favourite brand of
don't know.
cordless drill?
the mermaid.
Makita or DeWalt, you can't go wrong with either.
Okay,
go,
Retro
bam.
Smurf says, hello, lovely people. My PhD proposal got accepted 2 weeks ago.
Congrats.
I will be
Congratulations.
starting it next year. Any general advice for a fresh young man joining the sexual world that is science?
I feel like your perception of what science research is going to be like maybe slightly off.
You're saying he's going to be disappointed? Is that what we're
You may
saying?
be disappointed.
Retro
My
Smurf.
PhD experience wasn't all of that sexual, if I'm completely honest. In all seriousness,
You're doing it wrong.
You're doing it wrong. I did my dissertation on sexual history.
You're doing it wrong.
So you could just pick what you decide.
I'd recommend basically trying to socialize with your research group, trying to make close ties there, because they're the people that will help you out with your research.
And then you bang them.
Well, I didn't bang anyone in my research group, but they helped me a great deal with my code, and I wouldn't have been able to graduate with that if not for them. So my Fortran code, I definitely needed their help with.
Thank you, Retro Smurf.
So take it easy. Best of luck.
Marco says, just a fun little fact for you. The same linguistic root produced the words shit and science.
Marco, can you donate again and elaborate?
Give us further information.
Copro is shit, is the root of shit.
What's the root of science?
I'm not sure.
It's copro the root of shit, because that would be explain why in a lot of Latin languages it's like caca.
Yeah, well, because coprolite is a fossilized period.
Yeah, I know that one.
Okay,
I thought it was craprolite.
Bruce MM says, science question, how do I make meth?
Don't know.
Meth sex Oh, right, I see.
Watch
Breaking Bad.
Yeah. Right.
Sex question, why do I like to be naked in public?
It's a good question.
Because that's your kink. It's fine.
Nothing wrong with that.
But also, like, be careful with
Make
that.
sure people are consenting.
Dave says, when you nut in space, it push you backwards? Question mark.
Yes.
I actually asked an astronaut something similar to this.
Yeah, what does happen when you
if you fart in space and you're like stationary, it does cause you to rotate. I asked one of the
Okay, but I have a stoma bag, so what happens if you fart into your stoma bag?
It's like
you'd have a different pivot.
I
think you'd have a different pivot.
No, because it's still an
Would my
upstage.
stoma bag
But if the stoma bag... Does it contain the force?
Does it contain the fart?
Yeah. It can get.
In which case, then
it would inflate, wouldn't it?
The net force would be zero.
Well,
because the momentum that the fart carries away from you is then stopped by the bag on the other side. So there may be a brief movement, and it would arrest itself.
No, but it wouldn't though, because it doesn't arrest.
Control in space.
It hits.
But you have a
and then it comes back
in the other direction. Like there's no net transfer of momentum in the process.
If anything, you are a more evolved human than us.
What? Because I don't have my organs.
You have
and I'm still
3D
alive.
control.
You can release your jet propulsion at will.
You have
I'm more evolved than all of you because my farts don't smell.
Switching to docking mode.
So does that, because that was Benjamin Franklin's life work. Like he wanted to diffuse the smell of fart. He thought that would cure all social...
you mean miasma theory?
I never
That was why the London
Benjamin
sewers were created.
I
Because they thought that bad smells caused disease. So the sewers in London were invented and they were enacted by Joseph Bazalgette as part of the Second Public Health Act. Thank you, GCSE history.
And now,
to move
$1 billion
that
shit
away.
pipe.
Yeah, now $1 billion shit pipe.
$1 billion shit pipe off the back of that.
Question from Charlie. How do I stay in the moment during a sexual encounter? I always dissociate and lose my erection.
Oh, wow.
It's always in the same
Edging.
place, surely.
Edging. Eye contact.
Oh, man. Well,
Have you tried looking
that
under the
also
pillow?
might make someone disassociate.
Like that. Just if anyone at home's having sex right now.
But you have to practice by yourself staying in the moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that mindfulness?
Oh, yeah. To be honest, like...
That colouring in one.
Mindfulness, meditation.
Yeah. The noble
there
Buddhist
we go. We're
action
going
of,
down that route.
I think that might be a good tip.
Genuinely,
I think it's an anxiety thing. It's more of a stressful thing.
Someone...
and it's a spiral too, right? If you think you're starting to get anxious, sometimes that can make it worse. You think,
Sets
I'm
me off.
going to lose my erection.
I get very anxious when I get anxious.
No, exactly. Someone...
Sorry, Turps.
messaged me recently about how they had this same problem and they started doing like daily mindfulness meditations and it really helped them. And I know that sounds hippy-dippy, but it helps.
It works.
I did a course help a lot of people.
When I was doing my degree, I did a course on mindfulness to try and cope with stress.
My erections have never been stronger.
All right, we're going to have a quick 5-minute break.
We're going to have a 5-minute meditation.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Take care of
I'm
this.
going to sustain an erection for that entire time. And when I come back, we'll let you know how much mindfulness I had.
I'm just going to
then we're
play
gonna have
this
a really good
video
game
back.
of
Yeah. On the 12th day
phone.
of Christmas, Sexmas. We'll be back in 5.
Be right back.
See you in a bit.
I'm
Bye-bye.
so sorry.
Toodaloo.
everyone. Welcome back to the 22nd day of the Jingle Jam. We are talking about science and or sex.
Mostly sex.
Mostly sex
So far,
so far.
mostly sex.
However, we had a question Lewis clicked off. They asked about your thesis. What was it?
Oh, yeah. They were asking about basically the
Boring.
physics of what I was talking about. It is apparently boring.
No.
But,
Is it boring?
What? No. Come on.
I'm sure
Think yourself up.
I'm sure it's deeply fascinating, but you need to get somewhere to get it.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's relevant at the moment because, what I'm studying was the Beast from
Boring.
the East.
Fuck! Fake news! Fake news!
Oh, you're such a bully.
Basically, what happened this March with the Beast from the East is happening again at the moment. So in about
From
a
the
week,
East?
It's coming.
in about
Really?
about a week's time, the
Because
same.
it's still summer. I'm like still. Think it's like,
Lewis, if
Yeah,
you...
because it's like it's December and it's 11 degrees. Like
It was the solstice
I'm
yesterday.
wearing a dress.
Lewis, if you remember the Beast from the East, we were meant to go and see Blizzard.
Oh yeah, and you got stopped.
We got
by
stuck
it,
in
yeah.
the blizzard. I mean, Lewis said I was going to go see Face Punch next week, but I think I did that.
Yeah,
miss.
yeah,
There you
yeah.
go. It was a good one.
That was
'Cause
one
I
of
mean-
my
good one.
finest tweets.
So the Beast,
good one.
what we felt was the lower atmosphere response to it. Right, we had the cold weather coming in from the east and a lot of moisture, which meant snow.
Yeah.
But what caused that was something called a sudden stratospheric warming, which is what my thesis was about, and that's what's going to happen in a couple of days.
Now let's say I
So
don't
what's
know,
going to happen?
I
what are we
turned
going
on
to
a lot
expect
of
in a
people
couple
out there, and more moisture was produced.
No,
with
shut
that
up,
impact.
Turps. What is actually going to happen in a couple of days?
In a couple of days, the stratospheric polar vortex.
I can come back.
So every winter in the northern hemisphere, there's a massive rotating storm that basically forms over the North Pole called the polar vortex, and it's about the size of North America.
Isn't that Santa?
Wow.
So it's huge. It's
That's so
and
cool.
it goes at about 200 kilometers per hour. So it's this gigantic, fast-moving.
Because he's got to go around the whole
Exactly.
world
That's
in
the
one night.
scientific explanation of
Yeah,
why it happens.
yeah.
But then about 6 times a decade, 5 to 6 times a decade, the vortex splits apart and then destroys itself. And what that causes is the jet stream, which is this band of narrow, fast-moving winds in the lower atmosphere, basically moves further south and it becomes much wavier. And when we had the Beast from the East, that was the polar vortex broke apart really violently, and then the jet stream went further south, and we got cold air that's normally trapped over the pole.
Right.
And that was why we were freezing and why we had so much snow.
Right.
So the event that's happening in a couple of days, which is probably going to be on bang on Christmas Day,
Ooh,
is going to be the
We
vortex
get
splitting
snow!
apart. No, because there's a lag. There's a lag of 2 to 3
Fuck!
weeks.
Okay, so we're travelling somewhere. I don't know where because it's a surprise.
And
On
you
the
know what Doc's
27th. No, on the 27th. Would
You
the
should be
trains
fine.
be okay?
So
Okay.
with,
That's all I want to know.
Well, basically, there's like a lag. You see this descending influence.
He's like a glorified weatherman.
Listen, a consulting weatherman. Will my
Simon,
holiday
should I-
be okay?
Should I take the car or should I drive? I don't know.
Do I need to bring my
when this
waterproof
happened,
shoes?
I got interviewed on Sky
Yeah, tell me
News,
what to
and they
wear.
were like, "Oh, so what's the advice for travellers?" And I was like, "Oh, fucking no."
no.
No, but that's what people want to know. That's
let's
how you
take an
make it
umbrella.
human.
Warnings.
They
That's
always-
how you connect
it's
to
always the same
people.
advice.
Because
Yeah.
it's like, what do you wear? How will I get to where I need to go? That's all people
Yeah.
want to know.
They always say the same thing. It's like, put some warm stuff in your car, but I don't know.
We don't have a car.
So,
Where
so in
can I
terms of
see
what's
you?
going to happen
Train.
now, the problem is it doesn't always couple to the surface. I missed that. What did you say?
Don't worry,
This is what people want to know.
Carry on.
Sometimes it couples to the surface, sometimes it doesn't. So you can't say for sure whether it's actually going to change the weather or not. Sometimes it just misses us.
Do a Michael Fish and just say, there's not going to be a hurricane.
There's not going to be a hurricane.
Okay, so
hurricanes only happen in the Caribbean.
The
This is
gang.
an extratropical cyclone.
So Simon,
gang gets a
this is a
hurricane.
thing that just happens,
Yeah.
but has climate change, global warming
That is,
made it
fake
different?
News.
That's a question that we don't really have a clear answer to.
Fake news.
Because from a basic level, what causes the polar vortex in the first place, the big rotating mass of
Sand.
air, is the temperature difference between the pole and the equator. It's that
Yeah.
temperature difference.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
with
no,
climate
that
change, the Earth isn't warming uniformly. The poles are warming more than the equator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there's this
shit.
phenomenon which we don't really understand called
Because hot air rises.
Basically, yeah,
So that's what's
that's
happened.
pretty much it.
Which is
gone
why
to the top.
we think that our downstairs neighbours got their heating on because we've not turned our heating on yet.
Oh, fucking cashback. Fucking, I dream of that.
But
Jesus.
so because of that,
That'd be
there's
freaky.
not
I live in a
really-
house by myself, but fuck, if the mole people come
mole
on,
people.
Put your heating
save
on.
me some money.
There's no escaping from the kingdom of the moles.
I have another question for you, Simon.
Well, can I finish answering the first one?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
But I also have another
Can't
question.
handle two
Right.
questions at once.
So the first, unlike dicks,
Heyo!
the basically that's going to reduce the temperature gradient, right? So you think it would make a weaker vortex, which would be easier to break apart.
When
Yeah.
you say vortex, I just think this is fiction.
Yeah, it sounds scary,
But
right?
it's
it's
real.
just anything that's got spinning air is
Okay,
a vortex.
is a vortex.
Got it.
Dyson.
So,
Are you
Spiral.
okay?
but According to research where people have done climate models and basically made the Earth warm as we think it's going to happen, there's no discernible increase in the frequency of the events.
Right.
So on a basic level, you'd expect there to be an increase, but we don't think that it will happen. Having said that, this is now 2 winters in a row where it's happened, and that's kind of it's uncommon. If it was a Pokemon,
Causality
it'd be
does
uncommon.
not equal causation, or whatever the fuck they say.
Yeah.
Okay, so my other question was,
Yeah.
are you a physics PhD or a geography PhD? Because
Whoa.
sounds geography.
Technically, I'm neither, because the research I did was in the maths department at Exeter University. So technically, I've got a PhD in mathematics, but that's just because all the climate stuff, all the stats stuff was in maths. Rather
So
than
if I ever get given an honorary PhD because
big
a
if.
university wants to just have
Honour
me
your-
endorse them,
Yeah.
do I get laughed at in the PhD circles?
No, I mean, like, there's Dr. Brady Haran who does
Already, funny
Numberphile.
name.
But I mean, he's Brady Haran. He hasn't earned a PhD,
Yeah.
but he
I
likes it when
got
people
a
call him Dr.
professorship
Brady.
without-
But he's not a real doctor, and he calls himself a doctor.
Yeah, he
The
insists
guy
at
who's
conferences.
like the cinematographer.
He's the
Yeah, he does
okay.
like 60 symbols.
Okay, no, I do
like
know.
great
Yeah.
video maker, but he's like, I think you'll find it's Dr. Haran rather than
I like
Brady.
That. But is he done like a Mr. T, and has he just changed his name to be Doctor? So you have to call him Doctor because that's fucking genius. And he
Well, you
should
make
get
your
a doctor
first
for
name
that.
Doctor.
Yeah, yeah.
So if I change my first name from Simon to Doctor, it's
But
Dr.
then you'd be
Dr.
Doctor,
Clark.
Doctor. Yeah, Doctor, Doctor.
Give me
Oh,
the news.
Amazing.
Also, a thing I learned recently is that if you're a medical doctor, and then once you become, it's either a surgeon or a
when you
registrar.
You go back to
Consultant.
Mr. It's
You
a
go
yeah,
back
you
surgeon.
go back to
Yeah.
Mister.
Yeah. Whereas I've got a friend who's a medical doctor who I went
Well,
to
what
uni
happens
with,
if you're
and
a
now he's doing a
female?
PhD, so he's going to become Doctor.
Doctor again, yeah.
It's
What
just
happens
greedy.
if you're a
Joe.
woman?
You
act just a
you
miss?
become Mister.
I presume it's
become
Miss.
Mister.
I assume it's Miss or Mrs.
It's Mister, actually. I'm a surgeon.
Yeah, no, because apparently it's a real point of like pride. They're like, oh no, it's actually Mister.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Someone
no.
said, "Who are the new people?" Hi, I'm Hannah.
I like
I
it though.
am
Just
Hannah
like,
Witton.
I'm Dan.
Subscribe.
This is our oily Lord Ainsley Harriet.
so no, actually, I'm Mister. I never went to medical school. Please take a seat. I'm going to cut you up.
But you don't call Dr. Robotnik just Mr. Robotnik.
No, exactly.
5 years of
I didn't go
evil
to 8
training.
years of evil medical school to be called Mister. Thank you very much,
Mr. Evil?
Mister Eval.
Look at all the questions.
Doctor.
We got
Should
so many
we
questions.
answer some of these questions from the
Archie
donations?
says, "What's your
No.
opinions on a young person and polyamory?"
I watched that Louis Theroux documentary.
Is this?
Oh, I haven't.
So
Have you not?
polyamory is when you've got multiple partners, yeah?
Well, not necessarily polyamory, because more like means love. It's like you have
Multiple
the
love.
ability to like love multiple people.
Yeah.
So you
So
could
like
be
Jesus.
exactly like Jesus. You
Very
could be polyamorous and single, or you could be polyamorous and have one partner, but be looking for more partners, or you could be polyamorous with
I think you have to
multiple
just be
partners.
open as well about it. Like
Yeah.
if you're polyamorous
And
with someone, you
and there's
feel
lots
like
of
you wanna
Simon, Jesus was not poly.
I mean,
How do you know? He loved everyone. He loves everyone.
Somebody would have written it down, Terms.
Is it a different kind of love?
Except
To a
that
kind
you-
of, is it a sexual love?
There is
or
a part
it
in the Gospels where it's like
well,
Jesus
that's
saw
the
his
thing,
mother
it's
and
like
disciple whom he
you
loved.
Can you just-
like
define
one
that.
disciple?
And also, like every like poly relationship is different. So you could have like you could be individually poly, or like kind of like a poly relationship, and like thruples, or you could be like you could have a primary partner, and then you're like dating other people.
You need
or-
to know
I
pretty
like
advanced
all
maths.
of these names. I feel like there's a guy from the Pokemon company just writing them down. It's like, yeah, thruples. That's a good one. We're gonna have that one in. That's nice. Next.
Thruples evolves into STI.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Simon says Theo Avheringnos. He says
Avheringnos.
would love a boozy WikiCast special. Queen Tashi says,
can
"What
oblige.
do you think the colonies on Mars will be like?"
Most likely underground.
Do you think underground? Do you?
Well, because the
moles,
Mars...
they'll be heating up your flat.
They'll be the mole, kingdom of the moles. Yeah, well, because Mars doesn't have an active magnetic field, or a terribly active magnetic field.
No. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
does
Yeah.
that mean?
So it means that it's not shielded from solar radiation.
Yeah.
So the Earth, we have a magnetic field, which is what the aurora happened because it takes all the charged particles from the
The
sun.
aurora is the northern lights.
Yeah, and it funnels it to the North Pole and the aurora borealis, and to the South Pole and the aurora australis. And that's all the harmful stuff that basically gets channeled to there. But I mean, even then, it's absorbed.
It's beautiful to look at, but you
the-
will die.
But on Mars, there doesn't have a magnetic field, so it's constantly
But
bombarded
that's
by
why
radiation.
Elon Musk wants to nuke the fuck out of it.
That's one proposal, is to terraform Mars, by nuking it,
Just-
put a bunch of shit in the atmosphere, and then it will warm up the atmosphere.
Yeah.
The alternative would be to use their water tanks as radiation shields. You have the water on the outside, and then water stops the radiation quite effectively.
And it's
Wait,
nice.
Mars
You
has
radiate all your
on the
water.
outside?
No,
No,
as in we
Thank
would
you.
bring
Please
water
love
there,
this.
and it would go on the outside. Mars
we would-
does have
no,
a lot
it does have
of
a lot of
water.
water. We wouldn't bring any there.
It's got a lot of water ice
there.
and a lot of carbon dioxide ice.
Yeah.
Are there potatoes on Mars?
Not at the moment, but if they are, they're going to be grown out of shit. So
That's true.
there you go.
Thank you,
'cause I've
thank you,
seen The
Dr.
Martian.
Watney.
Thank you.
Hey.
Did you meet that? Because he did a talk in Bristol not long ago.
I
The
met
guy
What's
who,
the
Matt
author?
Damon.
Andy Serkis, Andy
Wise?
Dufresne,
Andy Weir.
Andy Weir.
Weir.
Andy
Andy
Weir.
Weir.
So he wrote
Played a lot of Warcraft.
Artemis,
Yes, which isn't as good.
which is good. It's,
I have Artemis.
What Artemis
Should I
is
read
about are based on
the moon,
The moon.
yeah.
And
But
so
it's more
it gives
about-
you a good picture of what it's like.
It's more interested in the economics of how would this work,
I
which is
think-
kind of interesting, but like it's not as good a book.
I think The Martian
As
might
an
be
art.
like one of my favourite books.
Yes,
I love it.
Yeah,
so much.
Mark Watney is Andy Weir though. When you meet him,
Oh,
you're like, fuck me,
really?
you're a dork.
But there's that sense of humour that he has.
He's a very and I mean that in a positive sense, and that
Yeah.
I really admire the character of Mark Watney, and you can tell when you meet Andy Weir, he's a funny guy, he's very sarky, but he is
I
very
mean it.
dorky
I
by
mean
his
it.
own admission.
Fuck
Yeah.
me.
I think you have to be to try and survive.
I think one of my
Mars
I'm
with, like,
gonna
your own
absolutely butcher this
potato
up,
poop.
but there was like one bit in the book where he like makes a joke about like this gay probe coming to save him because it was like rainbow or something, and he was just like, oh yeah, there's a
I
gay
can't
probe.
remember
coming
that
to save-"
bit.
It was just like one of those things where because he's obviously alone on Mars, it was like an internal joke that he made to himself. It didn't make it into the film, and that like got the biggest laugh from me when reading.
I don't remember that bit because I read the book.
Oh.
I don't remember it.
I read the
Okay,
movie.
It's fine,
No one else
just me,
needs
just
to
like,
remember
oh, the
that
gay
bit. Okay.
probe. I love a book of
I read the
gay
movie. It was great. Big fan of the movie.
I read the podcast.
Big fan.
To Quatty, who's donated, or Quatty, thank you, Bill. He says, my ex cheated on me, and ever
Oh,
since
I'm
my
sorry.
friends would call me a cuck.
Ugh.
What, in your opinion, is a cuck?
A cuckold.
Oh my god, but it's so
They've
old
done the
fashioned.
cuckold's horns.
After Hamilton has kind of brought it back as like an
has
insult.
it?
Yeah, because it's like you chose the wrong man to cuck. That was my wife. You decided to fuck.
Oh!
It's very good.
But also Hamilton, like the era that Hamilton is set in, that language would have
Yeah, would have been
been
appropriate.
used.
But now it's
Yeah.
like kind of come
Yeah.
Let's
like
come
in
back.
the mainstream again.
Trump's
You can-
brought it back. That and Cole. Well done, Trump.
Hold on,
Oh,
Trump.
no.
You
Can
fucking
we like not applaud Trump, but like
Oh,
maybe
always.
applaud like
tango-faced
Lin-Manuel
wank
Miranda?
face.
Always, always, always.
Some people might be cool with being a cuck, you know, if you want to let your...
That's
you know,
a specific fetish.
Yeah.
It's allowed to be a cuck.
It's almost
Yeah,
2019.
it's just also like old.
And yeah, if you've been cucked,
How
that's
do I deal? Sanchez donated. How do I deal with when my parents asked me to send a package back for them and return it as for love money? I think just be grateful that
It's
your
in
parents.
Bath. It's really close to Bristol.
Yeah,
Come
just
down
be
and see us.
Like, because when I think about, I don't like to think about my parents having sex, but one of the things that
You were
makes me
made.
like happy about
Doesn't
that
happen
is it's
anymore,
like,
though.
when I'm older, I would like to also be having a fulfilling sex life. So,
yeah, you got to pick your moments. I'll be honest with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, kids really they don't appreciate any form.
And
of,
also maybe use that as an
alone
opportunity to talk to your parents about sex. They might have some interesting stories. You never know.
It depends
Dad,
if you want
how
to
do
hear
I
it or not.
pleasure a woman?
Well, sit on my knee.
Come over here and I'll tell you how your mother likes it. She likes it when I go out and she gets her friend round. I'm a cook.
So Poke Pono World says, if they said the chances of anything coming from
We're a million
us,
to one.
then why did they come? What does that mean?
I don't get it.
That's from the War of the Worlds, the Jeff Wayne musical.
You
that,
were singing it like a
Oh, is that
Carrie-
the one that Carrie Hope Fletcher's in?
Yeah, yeah.
Or they just finished?
Yeah, she had that bit mishap on stage where she stood on her stage and was just singing the rest of the song in her pants because she ripped her skirt off.
Oh,
back.
yes.
Oh, bless.
An accident.
Absolute pro, Carrie. Like,
I
such
love
a good
her.
singer.
I saw her in Heathers.
I did too. Actually, no, I
Yes.
didn't because she was ill when I went to see
Oh, no.
her.
Oh, I
It's a
saw
shame.
her in it.
I
It was
bought tickets as a
fantastic.
surprise for my girlfriend,
The-
and then she wasn't there.
The main male lead
What, your
in
girlfriend
Heathers,
was there?
who is,
Yeah, it was really awkward.
is like a
I
sociopathic
picked up the
murderer,
wrong one
is also
there.
really sexy and looks like him. So it was great.
Oh, wow.
Thank you very much.
You're not a sociopathic murderer, but you looked like the one
And
that
it-
was on stage.
And you got to explore that
Sure.
in your mind then. You were like, what would it be like?
Exactly.
I could live with it.
Double AE, been watching the All-Sorts for years now. Thank you very much. Belisari, thank you. Carver,
Shut me up.
thank you. The Sandstorm,
The
thank
Sandstorm,
you.
thank you.
Julian.
Julian.
Thank you.
Pixie.
Dude.
Pixel girl.
Oh, that's my girlfriend.
Oh, is that your girlfriend?
Hey,
Come home
Pixel girl.
safe,
Yay!
Dr. Simon.
I don't know why we're clapping.
Oh, wait,
Don't
what's your
enthusiastically
girlfriend's name
clap
again?
at that
What's her
one.
name?
Well, no, we don't. It's secret. That's why we
Okay,
don't talk about
secret.
it.
Simon's girlfriend, you're welcome for the recommendation.
We will
She
leave
knows.
it at that.
She knows.
That's key.
Hey, anal beads.
I'm gonna get a very angry phone call in a minute.
Yeah. 8. You only gave me 7. Where's this other one?
What is it? Is it like Dudley Dudley Dursley, where it's like 37, but last year there were 38 anal beads?
That's what happens.
So Sam says, what kind of preparation do you guys do before the...
The frick frack.
The
What is
frick
the
frack.
frick frack? Is this
I'm
the
guessing
frick
sex.
frack?
Frick frack snick snacks.
Please tell me, my friend Jonathan, that he is a raging homosexual and that I love him. Oh, that's
Amazing.
beautiful.
Oh, John.
Jonathan.
Preparation is,
friend loves
just make sure you got enough time. That's my dad advice. It's like the kids are both asleep.
Put all the Lego away.
You're thinking,
oh yeah, Lego.
Don't want to roll around
let's
in that.
brush the bed clear of books and when I say toys, I don't mean anything exciting.
Mousie's-
like kind of, stuffed animals.
Tractors.
Mouse is just
Tractors.
stretching. Stretching
And,
apparently is a good idea beforehand.
Stretching.
What kind of sex are you having that you need to like limber up?
Hey, what kind of
Self-sex.
sex aren't you having?
Well, apparently, I don't know. There's a whole world.
Good
Well, if-
stretch.
Pixel Girl, donate
Pixel
again.
Girls, she's furious. She's like, yes, Simon, limber up.
Jeez.
And I always think, lots of lube.
Lots of lube.
Yeah.
Lube
Absolutely.
will
You
help.
can have too much, guys.
How about have a fucking shower?
That's also a great way to prep if that's what you're into.
That's it, yeah. Lewis's experience is exclusively from prostitutes, I will say. Obviously, you start by having a shower, then you pay her, and then you get down to it.
And then you push her off a bridge. Thank you, Finn.
Wow.
This is the most ambitious crossover of all time. Turps is personal trainer.
Oh, here we go.
Simon, any tips for someone about to spend months coding a biomechanical model?
Comment your code and work in Python.
Amazing. Hannah, can the corporal tissue of the penis be subject to hypertrophy stimulate? I.e., can you increase girth? How do you get
So basically saying like, because
Can you make your dick bigger?
on muscles,
Is
like
there any
normal
way
muscles,
to
if
make your
you
dick
hypo,
bigger?
By working out?
Yeah, no.
or anyway?
I would say
So
So those pills
from what I've heard is that by working out, you cannot like target certain areas. So I would assume that includes
However,
the penis.
fat loss will obviously reduce the amount of fat above the penis, which will
You can
show
see
off
more.
more of it.
Okay, the best way to increase the size of your dick is to shave your pubes.
right.
That's the easiest
The
way.
easiest.
It's like making a
easiest
mountain
way.
look bigger by deforesting
Yeah,
just around the
exactly.
base.
Exactly.
You can see more of it.
Like-
So how do you feel about body hair?
I mean, each to their own. It's fine. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Keep as much or as
When
little as you
when
want.
I was in hospital and I couldn't obviously like do any grooming, and so it was like an absolute bush. It was a great time, and also hospital.
It's like going back in time, isn't it?
It's like to the
Hospi-
80s.
hospi-
Yeah, exactly. The 70s, when sex was at its pinnacle.
Hospital is also very boring, and when you're in a lot of pain and very ill, there's not much to do. And so what I would do is I would play with my pubes, and I would end up like twisting little bits of it, and I would
It's a topiary.
and I would dreadlock it basically.
Oh,
I ended up-
wow.
You had enough pubes to dreadlock.
Oh yeah, I would like accidentally end up dreadlock, and like. That kind of like spiky hair from like the 90s and noughties.
Frosted tips?
Yeah, like frosted tips, but without the product.
No,
without the product,
yeah.
it was just like I hadn't
Yeah.
showered in a week, so it
Yeah.
was like crotch sweat
Nice.
and
So like
pubes
Chewbacca coming out of a mud swamp.
Yeah,
Pull down the pants and it's just like, "Ah."
yeah. I just really like when I'm like the token female on something to make myself as unattractive as possible, to really like lower the.
I'm afraid you fell today, milady. You've discussed
We will all be
crotch
going
sweat
home
and
Spanking one
dreadlock
up to you.
pubes.
Oh, God.
It was like making love to Bob Marley.
oh my
God.
That
There you
was,
go, that's
Look at
George
that George
Bush.
Bush.
That's lovely.
Yeah, that's
Bush
lovely.
with dreadlocks.
that's
Well done,
exactly
Steve.
what my crotch looked like.
Now watch this drive.
So where's the clitoris?
I guess it's like right at the top, isn't it?
You guess.
Keep going, Pip.
How fast
Between the eyes.
Thank you, Liam Brennan, for your donation of $5. Thank you very much.
I'm so sorry.
Thank you, Michael Wigmore. Thank you, Ryan Reynolds.
Ah, hello. I lied about my
Ryan
sexual
Reynolds,
prowess when I
loved
was
you
younger.
in Two Guys, a Girl, and a Pizza
And
Place.
while I've since lost my virginity, I've been too embarrassed to admit up to it, and I've continued to lie about when it happened. What do I do? Asking for a friend.
Why do you need to come clean on that? Who gives a shit?
Wait,
No one cares.
I'm really confused.
No one cares. We tease Lewis about him losing his virginity. He's
So
still
he's
a
got a
virgin.
bit of a
That's great.
reputation as a
fine.
player, but actually doesn't know anything.
Oh.
That's fine. Doesn't matter.
I mean, the thing is that ultimately what it comes down to is you and the person that you may or may not be having sex with. And as long as they're all clued in and you're both on the same page, then it's all good.
It's all good.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what other people think of
No
you.
one cares.
They're probably
Everyone-
as clueless as you.
And also, they're more worried about themselves than you.
People were much-
Unless they're
yeah.
having sex with you, then they do care about you.
Wow.
And you should... be honest with
Potentially.
them.
Potentially. But you should be honest.
You should be honest.
MC Wheezy
Has
says,
donated $253.
Woo! Thank you!
That is Danby, who was here
It's
earlier.
also really
Oh, is it? Oh, no fucking way.
His name is MC Wheezy because he has cystic fibrosis.
I like it how he
Amazing.
couldn't donate fully because he spent some money on our overheating internal
I'm really
vibrator.
sorry that we haven't got it working.
We managed to cook the batteries.
I've tried as hard as I can.
If that had been inside me, I'd have internal bleeding.
I think it's because he used
Actually, I
it
wasn't
up
bleeding.
all the battery.
Yeah, probably.
Dan, that is ridiculously generous.
Thank you very
so
much, Dan. That's very kind. Thank you.
Oh, I lost
He said,
one
never
of the
forget,
batteries.
Simon once sold out and dabbed for £1.37.
Yes.
How did that work?
I did. Well, I was like, if you want to donate, because I do maths and science streams every Wednesday on my Twitch, and I was like, if you
That.
donate,
No,
I
it
will dab.
vibrated. I pressed it down for a second and it vibrated and my finger,
you just-
my finger acted like the third battery.
It
'cause
appeared to work.
I have an electric charge and now
All
it's
it
not.
needs.
But
Oh,
Did it again.
oh, it's
What
working.
Why is it?
Do you just have
It's
to...
Yeah, it's vibrating.
working!
It just vibrated.
So wait, you're a more effective conductor than whatever the hell the top's made
I'm
of.
not even joking. No, it's vibrating.
Low
Feel it.
quality product.
Okay,
Feel
yeah,
it, it's
that's
vibrating.
interesting.
I'm okay.
I just need someone else to prove
I'm
this.
right on the edge already. I don't need a vibrator's help.
He's my
Okay,
boyfriend,
okay.
so he can.
Oh, we're gone. We're gone, everyone.
We're gone. We're gone.
Oh my god. Holy Jesus
I
Christ.
made it work with my.
The
With
stream
your
is exactly...
finger! Your finger did it! It made it happen! Never forget the other digits you have, everyone.
Oh my
See,
god.
it's all
Okay.
coming
Don't
in
need
full
to use
circle.
that. You can use anything.
Anonymous said, would you consider it cheating to have sex with a robot?
Oh, so this is interesting, okay? Right. Hannah,
Yeah.
would you have sex with a robot that looked exactly the same as Dan?
But why would I do that?
No, I'm just
when
saying,
I
would
could
you?
have
Would
sex
you?
with Dan?
Would you? Is that...
Say
What if
that
it was
I'm
the
the
other
only
what
way
if it was
for
the
that.
Hang on,
other
wait,
half
let's
of Dan?
just see, because this is a great one. This is Richard Herring asked this a lot. So, would you have sex with a robot that looks like Dan?
Would you be okay with that?
No.
I
I'm
think
just
I would.
asking you.
The interesting
No,
thing is...
this is it. This is the question. You've got to have this
See, you
communication.
don't normally have the other partner there.
I think-
you
There's a
should do.
second half to
But
this.
that would
The question is-
definitely impact my decision on having sex with it is whether the person who it looked like was okay with that.
Okay.
Because you would probably be more okay with me having sex with a robot that looked like you than having sex with a robot that was someone else.
Well,
Okay.
that was my question, though.
Well,
was
Dan,
that
would you have sex with a robot that looked like Hannah?
I kind of would hope that you would if I was
Yeah.
away.
Okay, right now, let me ask you a follow-up to that. Would you rather have sex with a robot that looked like Hannah now,
Or me.
or Hannah when you first met?
Are you
Okay, so
implying that Hannah has
basically,
become
that's
less
just saying, like,
attractive?
No, that's
Would
just.
you
I
like
just
to
think,
have sex with me with or without
interesting.
stoma bag?
I just think it's interesting. No, not even
Well, no,
that.
because my question was going to be, if you're okay with it, so the robot's like, I don't know, whatever, but does it matter, like,
Not
if
human.
I'm
Dan, it's a
happy
trap.
having
It's a
sex
trap, Dan.
with a
it's
robot that
fine.
looks like Hannah, should I be okay with having one that doesn't
Let's say
look like
Hannah's.
You know what I mean?
Hannah's
Like,
gone
I
on
don't
a
know where
book
you draw the
tour.
line.
She's gone across America doing a big book tour.
At the end of the day, it's just a very fancy sex toy. So what's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
difference
yeah.
between
Yeah.
that and a dildo?
Because I'd
Well,
be
exactly,
I'd
but
be
it looks
totally
like
fine
someone
with
you
him.
love.
Like if I was away, I'd be totally fine
It's like
with him using
I'm
a
not
fleshlight.
okay with Hannah using a dildo unless it looks like my dick.
Okay, interesting.
Great.
Great.
Put that
Great to- yeah, exactly.
is that most of the dildos that I use are like bright pink or bright purple.
Much
which
like
I would
your
actually,
penis.
Handy that's what it
actually,
is.
Yeah,
to be
yeah.
honest, I would rather use a dildo that didn't look like your dick.
I find that
Okay.
offensive.
I
To
would
separate
rather
the two.
I would rather
To
use
separate
a
the two.
Yeah, but I would also rather use a dildo that just didn't look realistic. I like the
Dragon.
pink and the purple.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually,
I like it looking like a
dragon
dog.
dildos. Oh,
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
I mean, how do I get on this? There
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
whole website.
Yeah, we know it.
We
We
know
know
about
it.
it.
Don't worry about
Oh,
it.
you know about
You ain't got to tell this audience about dragon.
Oh,
dildos.
okay. You know it. I don't know the name of it. I just remember finding it one day and being like, this is.
Oh, Fuss
hello.
Rodar.
Thank you,
you're back.
Tia
Yeah.
Fanax, for your donation of a Desi
Thank you.
hundo. Sorry, no,
deci-
a half hundo.
Yeah, half hundo. Yeah,
Finally
yeah.
getting my donation in this year. It's been a joy watching you two grow from two dudes with bag mics to doing a podcast to raising millions for a good cause. Still love the content. Keep it up. Merry
you
Christmas.
very much.
Thank you,
Thank
Back.
you. Sam says, what's the
Here,
difference between an
Fanax.
enzyme and a hormone?
You can't make an enzyme, but you can make a hormone.
Oh, wow. That's a PhD joke if I've ever heard one. What a fucking... Well done, guys.
Joke or was that just a
It was written in the donation. I did not.
Oh, is that... Oh, shit, I didn't
I
read
could
it.
have gotten away with that.
Oh, wow.
but,
That was beautiful.
We didn't even see that.
I'm too honest for this.
Yeah.
Sorry, guys.
Alpha the lad says, is it safe to have sex in space?
There's so
There was Brazzers wanted to fund a porn.
not
to do
only
in
that,
space.
like NASA have legit made stuff in order to allow it.
A robot?
Like if you look it up, go online,
That
have a
looks
look.
like
NASA have made equipment
astronaut's wife.
specifically
I would like
to
to-
allow
Like
people to
handles.
reproduce it. It's like a bag, it's like a dual sleeping bag. You both get into to stop you drifting apart.
Yeah.
Like,
I want to
that's
see
basically
when that
what it
was
is.
made And then when the first
Wikipedia
female
page
astronaut went
for
up,
that.
because I would love it that they were that progressive, where they were just like, sweet, go for it.
If you jizz in space, then it's like a fart. You're going to push yourself back.
Exactly, but that jizz is going to continue
I can't
forever.
believe
Like a ballistic missile.
There is
If you jizzed into the vacuum of space,
If you have
does
one-
that eventually leave the solar system, or will it get gravity would fuck it?
Gravity would be trapped in an
Yeah.
orbit around the Earth if you were.
How hard
yeah.
would I have to ejaculate for it to, go Voyager 2?
The exit velocity of the Earth, I think, is 13.7
So I'm already
kilometers per second.
Well, even
Oh, we're all right
even
then.
in orbit.
No, well, once you're in orbit, I don't know what
That's
it
it.
is.
Okay.
I
Are
played a
you
lot of.
asking if you could spunk hard enough to get it into
get out of the
the
I
solar
want to
system.
know, does it get out of our solar system?
Right.
First contact with
That'd be
aliens
only
is your spunk.
'cause
Just
the thing
sailing
is-
through the cosmos.
They've got like a windscreen wiper.
The Milky Way.
If that was preserved,
Thank
recently, I don't know if you saw
you,
this,
Alpha
they've managed to make
Cell.
DNA, or they've managed to make not DNA, but the D of DNA, whatever that's called.
A D, deoxyribonucleic acid.
They've made that with radiation, water, and
Oh,
hydrogen in space.
It's a really famous experiment. They basically recreated the conditions of life. And it wasn't
Yeah.
DNA, it was amino acids.
amino acids.
It was
yeah.
just lightning and basic constituents.
No, but in space, they've done it now with they've done it with radiation in space. So they're
Oh, I
saying
don't know
basically
that
like
one
if
then.
you take hydrogen and water and radiation,
And
you can
jizz-
make the D of DNA.
But that's just D.
So, but that's what I'm saying.
It's just
but,
D.
But that's the thing. And so they are saying like maybe life was made through radiation and elements.
Well, yeah, I mean, ultimately,
If you went to Mars
In
the
space.
scientific theory is that
had a
it
wing.
was from that kind of process rather than a divine creation.
and then you left it for like 7 billion
But let's not wade into that. Like,
What did I
let's
do?
not wade into that.
Be
Mark.
like,
You left Mars for like 7 billion
Oh,
years.
okay.
You came back.
Yeah.
Would it be full of Martians? Or would you be their god?
Well, when I wank, I don't excrete over eggs. Like, if I
But
went
it's
to
like-
Mars
There's
and just
animal.
had loads of periods,
I think,
was just
but
like-
that organic matter could kickstart.
yeah, you don't
process.
know exactly. In all fairness,
It's called cosmic.
I d- I-
that would be
the-
fucking cool. I'd be their god.
That's an Asimov novel, I think. Like that.
Feels
But I
like,
feel like the
Ridley
cells
Scott's
in your body
Prometheus, still a
require
better
those
film.
very specific conditions to live. So as soon as
as
they're
we
out of it,
understand
they'll
it,
die.
as we understand it.
Mars is definitely more hospitable than other planets,
But it's
but
like
it's still
that time there
not
was
great.
this
Not great.
island, and
Right,
they
right.
went there, and they were like, "Wow, this is a really weird plant." And they figured out that the plant was growing there because a previous botanist who
it
visited
shit
the island
there.
had taken a shit.
Yeah.
and it had like caused life to grow across this island.
because it like initiated. Or I think it might have been bacteria in or something that was in his shit. Like it might have had a seed or something.
That make more sense.
And then he had ready-made fertilizer.
Yeah.
In his poo.
Anyway,
ready to
So-
thank
go.
you for that.
This person, Scar Rambo, said, I'm 21 and I've edged for 4 years. When I ejaculate, it's like stamping on a bag of icing. I have no idea what that means.
Jeez, what an edge.
Have you ever seen spunk before?
Okay, you're all laughing and I'm not.
We're just
I like it.
I'm picturing a bag of icing.
You know when
Bag
you
of
decorate a
icing.
cake?
You know when you,
Yeah, when you
it's like
decorate a
the
cake.
you know the chew, the bag. that you
Yeah,
ice
yeah,
with?
yeah.
If you just like stood on that.
Okay,
It's an
Yeah.
expulsion.
thank you for being so awesome this year. As usual, the Jingle Jangle is the highlight of my year.
Do you want to
every year.
overemphasize other random words?
And this year has especially been stressful for me after coming out as transgender and lesbian. But this is interesting because
So no, they've said shenanigans. That's our software
Don't worry,
that's
that's
done
our
that. Don't worry. Our software's edited
fine.
shenanigans.
software has censored out shenanigans and okay, cool.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
And
like
your
if someone's from Scunthorpe, that also.
Yeah,
gets-
that'll get.
have
Yeah.
helped me make it through the hard times. Keep being so awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
Ashley.
you very much, Ashley.
Tech Blaz says, I turned up to this stream, I have no idea what's going on.
Thank you
Yeah,
very
me
much.
neither.
Brian says, Simon.
Yes.
Solve this.
Solve this D.
D E.
Oh, it's a parametric
Colon.
differential equation.
It's differentiation. Dy over dx.
It's a differential equation, but it's
I used
a
to do
parametric
differentiation
one.
I love
so
how
well,
fucking
but I
Hannah's going to
remember
solve
it
this
all.
before you do.
You can't.
Two.
No, you can't solve that because the second order derivative doesn't have a thing that it's acting on. It's just an operator.
It's two. It's two.
Come on, guys.
Oh, Theresa May's asked a question.
We don't know how to fix Brexit. Fuck off.
I've been flying a drone near an airport recently, and whether there is any scientific way to stop the signal to my drone getting interrupted by defense mechanisms. Great
Don't
question.
fly
All
drones
you
near
actually need,
airports.
because most defense systems just overpower the signal. So as long as you have the strongest signal strength, you can get through anything.
Hey,
So
all right, don't encourage them.
don't they have? Can't you?
Maybe I shouldn't have done that. I don't know. Stronger signal strength. That's what you need.
I think you
Go
could.
for it.
She just
I
did the
think you-
equivalent of spraying you with a water bottle.
Equally, you can know that you need that. Actually, having that is a different thing altogether.
Yeah, you need a lot of power.
Yeah, you need a lot of power, and I think it's interesting. I retweeted a thing today that said that we were gonna discuss drone laws this past
Why
few
not
years, but we
just, like,
didn't
use
because
a
we were
hose
doing
pipe?
Brexit.
Yes, that was
We were
it was
trying
Chris
to figure
Grading,
out,
wasn't it?
Figure out some Brexit shit instead. Use a hose pipe if you can get up there. That's good.
Or an air
Use
rifle.
a spear if you've seen that video from the Renaissance Festival where there's a drone taking footage of a Renaissance festival and this guy just takes it down.
Oh,
with a
that's
spear.
brilliant. Anonymous says, "How do I know if I'm asexual?"
I mean, like, take your time.
Yeah, figure
But what
out.
is it? It's a lack of drive,
Yeah.
or
so,
it's a lack of impetus.
oh, what's happening? I keep
alright,
on
no, you're
moving it
good.
because I'm drinking.
That's okay.
But like, you know how society is super over-sexualized, and you'll hear everyone being like, "Oh, I want to fuck that person. Oh, I'm super horny," and you're like, "I never."
It's like my
Wait, I just
catchphrase.
tuned out then. Sorry.
That's like
what?
my catchphrase. But anyway,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
But like, if you're like, "What is horny?" I don't understand that. Like, maybe that might be a sign that you're asexual or on the asexual spectrum.
Yeah.
There are so many
The sextrum.
asexual people on YouTube who make videos, and I would recommend like searching that.
Yogscast.
And
So I know.
watching some people talking about their own experiences and seeing if you relate to any of that.
Sexuality
These
is very
guys are
fluid.
laughing.
No,
and
sorry.
No,
I'm
I'm not
No,
laughing.
no, I'm laughing at Lewis.
Sexuality is very fluid.
Ainsley.
I get a boner
Oh.
just randomly.
Just randomly.
I don't even know what's
Right
causing
now.
it sometimes.
Oh my god, Simon!
There we go.
That is actually quite funny.
But thank you, Anonymous. Chloe says, there was never a lot of lesbian sex education at my school, so could you give me your best tips on how to stay safe as a gay woman?
I mean, dental dams. I hate that. It's so ugh.
It
so
sounds
unsexy.
horrible.
It's so unsexy.
It sounds clinical.
The main thing to
What's the
remember-
sexy name for it? Do they not have one? They must
Face
have one.
shield. That's
Face
That
what-
seems
shield.
even less.
Use a face
Sounds like you're going to
shield.
That
disarm
sounds
a
like something from
bomb.
Warhammer.
It's like, don't worry, I've
was
got
going
my
with the-
face
Don't worry,
shield.
I've got an iron halo. It's fine.
I think
Lord.
it's the same with everything else. Like, just remember that, like, you can contract STIs through oral sex, and the sex toys also need cleaning and protecting if you're going to be using them on you and other people and all of that stuff. And just get yourself checked up regularly, because you need a map to a sexual health clinic.
Still
Wow.
so many syllables.
Thank you very much,
There you
Chloe.
It's not only a great song, it's got a good message.
Thank you.
Michael says, for Simon, what is this mythical letter at the beginning of Hannah's surname? What does that mean?
So
W?
I did this was one of my maths streams where I was doing an Olympiad paper, like a really complicated maths paper, and it was like working out a series of steps which were labeled by the alphabet. And I was like, I've done all these right. Why isn't the answer right at the end of it? And I realized I'd done all the maths right. I just forgot the letter W existed.
How dare you?
So the letter W in my streams doesn't exist.
It's because
I'm
it's a
just Hannah
double
Itten.
V. You had
Hannah
V
Itten.
and you didn't do the double V.
Yeah. It was one of the stupidest things I've done.
Anonymous.
On my YouTube channel.
Says, hi Hannah, fan for a long time, really curious about BDSM.
Ooh.
More to the side of bondage,
Interesting.
but I'm unsure how to try out myself effectively.
Uh-huh.
What toys/equipment would you advise I look into getting? For a male, thank you all, love you.
I mean, the most basic, like, bondage equipment would probably be, like, handcuffs and things. If you are looking into getting to ropes and tying people up or
I would
yourself
suggest
tied up,
Your
then-
nearest scout.
Yeah, exactly.
No,
Your
genuinely,
local
you
climbing
need to-
centre.
You need to get help from people who know what they're doing, so you can be able to tie safe ropes that will actually hold people up, if that's the thing that you're into.
So a sailing club, maybe?
A sailing club,
Like
your
how you do
local rock
hitch.
climbing club, or your local BDSM club. I don't know.
Yeah.
Are they things?
No,
Well,
there
make
are like
sure that-
there are groups for people who.
Tie something
Yeah.
with that
Yeah,
kind
but-
of back.
Exactly, like in person and also online. So
They're not going to be able
And
to
they
get
also, the good thing about those groups,
They-
is
they
you can
could
find
drown.
other people who also like that.
who are also into it. Exactly.
Yeah, maybe that leads to more stuff. So thank you, Anonymous. Hopefully you can enjoy tying people safely. Leanne says, thanks for an amazing year. I hope you got my Christmas card. If that was to me, I
Can I
didn't.
go for a wee?
You, of course you may. Of course
wherever
you
you
may.
want.
Great.
Yeah, it's
I'll
not
go.
school, but please do put your hand up. in
Please
the
raise your
future.
hands.
Here's the whole part.
Do you remember that in exams when you had to do that? Like-
Jack says, serious question for Simon.
Well, the teacher used to
I'm
have to follow you
finding
in
that
there.
my
Yeah.
PhD
Maybe that was just my school. I don't
on my
know.
At
master's
Oxford they had to
physics.
do that.
So my master's physics degree has only set me up for work in research placements, which is the opposite of what I want to do. If you didn't do YouTube or your PhD, where would you see yourself working?
Good question. If I wasn't doing YouTube or my PhD, I think I would have gone into science communication at an institution, like a museum or something like that. Because I've always really enjoyed teaching, but I don't think I could be a teacher in a school. Like, I just feel like I would get bored by doing the same thing over and over again. Yes, you do that in any institution, but I feel like the days would be more different. And there's less bureaucratic bullshit when you're not working in a school.
It's never too late to change as well.
Yeah.
Like people who've got a degree in one thing can turn their hand to a completely different thing.
Yeah, loads of people who I know who did PhDs. There's a guy who I graduated with last week who's now working in patent law.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Right.
guys.
Sorry,
Yeah.
that was Hannah's. That's fine.
The thing about PhDs is that it's not the knowledge you get, it's the skills you get in the process. It's how to do problem solving. In my case, it was coding, it was project management. It's all these things which are so applicable. MPhys is the same, but like obviously not quite the same because it's not as long a qualification, but you're so applicable to other areas. So you won't just be trapped in research placements. I think you'd be surprised if you went for stuff and you think it's a Hail Mary, you'd be quite likely to get it. So don't worry about it. I think just go for what you think is interesting and then follow that, and I think
here we go.
it'll work out.
So Simon's added to their donation. They said the average mass of one ejaculation is about 2.5 grams,
Right.
or 0.0025 kilograms, with an average speed of 28 miles per hour, or 12.4 meters per second, to the -1.
That's meters per second.
That is meters, giving a momentum of 0.03 grams per meters
Kilograms
per second.
per second.
Kilograms per second.
Per meter
per second. Fuck me. According to
Do
the
you want me to
laws
take
of...
over?
Yeah, say it.
According to the law of conservation of momentum, an equal but opposite momentum is gained by the person coming. So they would gain a velocity of momentum over mass equals 0.03 divided by 70 equals 0.0004 meters per second, or 0.001 miles per hour. In addition, this does happen on Earth, but the air resistance / friction action on you counteracts the force exerted by the nut.
So that's a solid body problem.
Where's this?
Hang on.
Is it a solid body?
Yeah, because if you're nutting, you're most likely going to be on the floor rather than hanging from something.
Yeah.
To get
So
a
like your
picture.
friction is going to be.
So what you're saying
your
is
friction
you
on
have
your
to
feet.
you have to jump up just as you're about to blow.
But then if you were in space, then obviously you kind of be like very slow. Wait a minute, I'm going to get there.
And then you just sort of spin.
Really slowly drift back.
Would you be spinning, or would it be central?
No, it's going to be below your center of mass,
Yeah,
so it's going to
yeah.
exert a moment on you as well.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Can we work out how
like
much
it.
of a moment how much of a spin you would go into if you jizzed directly 90 degrees forwards?
Well, it depends on
In
the
space.
distribution of mass in your body.
Okay.
It would depend on the overall mass of your body and
An average mass.
and the distance from
There is no
your
such
center
thing.
of mass.
Again, average.
Average.
I mean, what? That's going to be.
Simon, if you could add another $5 to your donation and tell us
Yeah, please
what
do.
the momentum impact would be on said nut in space.
If you could put your calculation of the moment of inertia of the body, I'd be interested.
Can we talk about average? Just what is the average size, Hannah?
In the UK, 5.5 inches erect.
Okay.
Or 5.
What's unerect?
It's usually
Or
like
a
smaller
flaccid.
than that.
But what's the average?
Usually, are you telling me there are people who get smaller when they get erect?
Yes, Steve.
You might be a grower, not sure.
There's a grow and then there's an anti-grow.
Yeah.
Grow up.
Now I'm
Give us a shout out
firm.
for an
I am
anti-grower.
solid.
Okay. I have
Does it
a
vary
fact
between
for you
countries as
about
well?
sperm.
Yes.
That I'm not 100%
Americans
confirmed
have-
about because Steve just told me to tell you.
Is this going to be the data content of an ejaculate?
How did you know?
Oh yeah, because it's a.
How
yeah.
did you know that was
Yeah.
what it was going to be?
I just thought I don't know, I had a gut feeling.
A nut
Nut
Okay.
feeling.
Yeah.
Not feeling nice.
Okay, so apparently each sperm... I spat. I'm so sorry. Very passionate about
Next time,
clearly.
swallow, Hannah, please.
No, I won't. I'll never do it.
I've had worse on my face.
Okay. It's okay. Okay, so apparently each single sperm contains 37.5 megabytes worth of data, which means that an average ejaculation almost instantly transfers
Super Mario Brothers 2.
roughly 1.5, which
It's me!
terabytes, 1,500
Yoshi!
terabytes of data.
Imagine if you made a Mario noise
Sorry,
every time you
the whole
ejaculated.
I do.
planet.
I'm not sure
What
because
is
it
this?
says
No,
one,
like
it
one
says-
ejaculation, because like each sperm's only
Oh,
like
a sperm
each
is
sperm is
37.5.
37 meg.
Holy
so
shit.
like
Each
So
individual sperm.
each individual
jizz
sperm
is like
is 37
terrible.
Oh
megs.
my god.
So each
It's-
ejaculation, I'm not entirely sure if this is
Brings
telling
a whole
me
new,
that it's 1.5 terabytes or 1,500
A whole new
terabytes.
meaning to floppy disks.
What is this telling me?
Yeah, not as much data transfer
It
when you're
doesn't-
floppy.
it's not
Used
very
to
clear.
save on floppies.
It's 1.5
3.5
Now we're on.
exabytes.
Now we're on. Now we're
Okay,
on
so
hard
that's
disks.
1,500 terabytes.
That's like about 10 hours of
That's
HD
what,
footage.
is that 1.5
per
petabytes?
ejaculate.
footage. footage.
It's way
It is way more than that.
Someone,
It is way more than
someone
that.
in the chat said floppy dicks, and I like
Floppy
it.
dicks.
What is it?
It's
how much 4K
obscenely
footage
large.
is that?
How much 4K footage is that? I don't know.
Petabyte.
This is from 2013.
Probably about a week's worth, Steve
Weeks
says.
worth.
Weeks worth of 4K. All right.
I mean, the LHC generates an incredible amount of data in like each collision, and I think it probably is about that kind
Same
of
as the
range.
jizz.
Okay,
Yeah.
this
Probably
another
about the
thing
same
says
size.
It's probably cosmic
130,000
jizz that goes on.
terabytes.
I
think it's whoever the man was.
How much sperm
In
they
that.
ejaculate?
I went drinking once with a guy who was working on the central detector of the LHC.
Always worry
And,
about saying drinking after following a sperm
and he-
competition. But yeah.
But he was working on the central detector, which is super like sensitive to temperature, humidity, and everything like that. And they basically fucked up, and they went out one evening and they told the temperature to increase because they were worried about it getting too cold, and it caused a whole bunch of condensation to form because they just didn't think about the humidity aspect of it. They nearly broke a like 3.5 billion, whatever it is, dollar experiment just because they went, oh yeah, up, not down. That's the right way. Yeah, cool. Like, it's Sokotoa, not Koksatoa.
Oh, I remember Sokotoa.
Yeah.
So,
My favourite philosopher.
Simon, where is our missing baryonic matter?
Oh God, don't ask me about that.
What is that?
What even is that?
That's
Well,
presumably talking about dark matter.
so
Oh,
basically,
they
when
fixed that,
the
didn't
Big
they?
Bang
Fix this?
happened,
Did they fix it?
people
I think they
theorised
fixed
that,
it now.
Basically, like the idea is that when the Big Bang happened, well, correct me if I'm wrong, Simon. It could be bollocks, as most things I say are.
God created the universe.
We have a look out at the visible universe, and all of the things and stars and everything that we see doesn't really add up to enough matter. There should be about 97% more. or
Yeah,
something.
and there's two things that are missing. There's dark matter, which is
Hannah is back
contributing
online.
to
You're right.
how fast galaxies are expanding.
I don't
which
know
is
if I like- if
we
I
think
like
there should be more
whispering
matter in these
so people
galaxies.
can hear me.
And then there's also dark energy,
can.
which is a cosmological thing, which is how fast the universe is expanding.
Yeah.
And there needs visible matter is I think 4% of everything.
So there's something out there we don't know what it is. It's
Well, there's two things
we
we
think we
don't
call
know
it dark
about.
energy and dark
Three things.
matter.
Because dark energy could be a geometric
hear me if I'm
construct, as in just how space is knitted together, or it could be an actual energy,
silent
something
today?
akin to the 0 point
What's
energy,
happening?
like something
I
that's
thought, again,
associated with quantum
I
systems.
feel like they've done it. I
Jeez.
feel like they did it.
We
There
worked
was a
it
big
out.
breakthrough relatively recently,
Yeah.
which I need
Turps
to. It
thinks
was on
they've worked
Reddit,
it out.
Yeah.
but
Turps
I
will let
need
you know.
to reread it.
Ethan, thank
Stop
you.
doing
You guys all right?
I can hear you from here.
What are you chatting about? Hannah, fill us in. Share
Oh,
it with the class.
I was just wondering if I was whispering, if the people could still hear me.
Yeah, they can. Yeah.
Apparently
And we
they can. So I started doing ASMR. The people wanted it.
Okay.
This is the Cavcast.
I don't think it's true.
No one wants ASMR.
No one's asked for it.
Lady Killjoy says, I'm only attracted to Korean women and Lewis, so I can't get hard to anything else.
Lulu, is that mean you?
That means me.
Okay.
It's really making my life difficult. Is there a cure? I live in Hungary where there are no Korean women or Lewis. Help.
I'm sure there are plenty
It's
of people
tough.
who look like Korean women and Lewis. So
In Hungary, though?
yeah, easily.
Well, equally, we're on the internet. Have an online relationship.
Because
and
the
then
thing is that
move.
it's still quite
Hey, Lady
broad.
Killjoy.
Like Lewis doesn't look like Korean women, so it's not as if that it is a really narrow type.
Indeed. Thank you. Appa has been watching the Yogscast since modded Minecraft stuff. Thank you very much. Ellen Rose has donated. We know her.
Oh, is this Ellen?
This is
Oh, that must
Ellen.
be Ellen.
We love Ellen.
Yes.
On Twitter.
She says, keep up the excellent work, Yogs. Well done on raising so much. We can answer any sexual questions you have.
Ellen, why is Ellen not asked anything? I'm devastated.
You know Ellen?
Oh,
She
yeah,
knows everything about science and sex.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Ellen would have asked great
needs
ones.
Am I
no further
thinking this is the
information.
same Ellen you think it is?
Must
I
be.
hope so.
Yes.
Okay.
And, oh, God. Anonymous
Ickle
says,
Ellie Rose?
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
yes. Okay, good. Hi, Ellen.
Hey
Let's
guys,
not- let's
any
not
advice
doctor
for
any
exercises
further.
to do with the goal of removing the fat around your crotch area to show off the full size of
Your
your penis. Love the way you guys do it.
so we're back on topic immediately.
Bang!
Dicks.
So you cannot, as we said before, target fat removal from
No
any
points
specific.
fat
No.
You have to lower your overall body fat percentage down, and it basically means you don't drink this, you don't eat fun stuff, and you have to burn more calories than you consume. It
Big
sounds
dicks
simple,
are built
but
in the
fuck
kitchen.
it.
By the
Exactly.
same logic of abs.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is. Or Jesus smiled upon you.
I just say do.
Go, my child.
Exercise
Have a
lots.
I
big
work
penis.
from home most days, which means I do maybe like 2,000
Go forth
steps,
and multiply.
which is terrible.
That's. I
See,
mean,
this
geez.
thing, I have no idea if that's good or bad.
It's
What's
bad.
the person
Like you
meant
want
to
to
do?
be able to do about 10,000 steps a day, and I do about 3,000 when I'm.
So
at work.
I walk about 3 kilometers each way to and from the office. So I'm
That's
doing about
decent.
6 kilometers walk a day. And I started going to the gym. Now I go to the gym 3 times a week, and I do a thing for an hour, and
Dick
then I
push-ups.
dick press ups for an hour,
What does
and
that do?
you just do one. It's one. You can only do one.
You can only do one.
But you hold it for an hour, which burns calories, and then I do.
It's like extreme
I
planking.
try and do a 5K row, but a 5K row is about 280 calories,
Oh.
which is the same as 6 chicken nuggets. So if you're
It's
rowing,
only 6?
yeah, so you're rowing for about like
yeah.
22
But we eat
minutes.
like 10 each in
What
one
kind
Yeah.
of split are you doing?
The problem you
So
get,
that's a 10K. You're eating about 10K of
Oh
rowing.
my god, I did a 5K
What
run
what
this
split
morning.
are you doing though?
And I don't even know if that was worth it anymore.
I think
500
just
or
sitting
or
here
yeah, like
uses
230
6
something like that.
chicken
Yeah,
I rode for
It does because
Oh,
we're
okay.
sweating
Yeah,
so.
so,
Yes.
like,
those
I rode for a week, so I
it's
could.
very dependent because you can just be like, oh, this is
Yeah.
You get to like 130.
Oh, if
That
you're
is
really
definitely
gunning
more.
it, no, exactly.
Maybe
but
if
it's-
you're just
yeah.
like super nervous in all situations, then you
Then
just,
you
like,
burn more
lose.
calories.
Yeah.
Yeah, anxious people are much thinner. Brian,
That's
thank
the
you
one.
very much.
That's the one.
Immy has donated, you lovely lads.
Thank
Thierry
you.
K, thank you.
Merry Christmas. all.
Jerry
Ryan,
the
thank
Penguin
you.
says, here's a question for Simon. Is it true that Fortran is still the fastest language for atmospheric modelling compared to newer languages, or is it more to do with tradition?
It's definitely faster for certain
I love that you
applications.
knew what that question meant.
Well, yeah, the original Met Office models were written in Fortran 77, I think.
See, I just don't like
does
any
that
of the whole /B stuff. I think like it's too much. It's too much. Random, yeah, okay, random. It gets a bit off course, really, for me.
But yeah, no, Fortran is a language that is compiled. Did you ever do any coding in your degree?
You ever do
No.
12chan, 8chan?
Fortran, mostly.
Whereas Python, Python is now the language that a lot of people use for climate modeling.
Fucking moot.
But that's like an objects-based language, so it's less efficient. Whereas, yeah, Fortran is generally regarded as being faster as a precompiled.
You put Sage in all the fields.
Dan probably knows. I know because you
Absolutely.
recently started programming, didn't you? 'Cause
Yes.
You work in IT.
I'm
but,
poor at it.
Okay, no, don't worry. So am
Very
I.
poor.
But you're working on it. It's your new.
But I have no idea what Fortran is, so I
Okay,
could not
it's
comment.
a super old school language that's very stripped back, and it's like as in,
Okay.
it's so old school. There's a length, there's
It's a much like-
limit on how long a line can be.
Yeah, it's a much lower level language.
Yeah.
Therefore, it's harder to work with. It's going to be more efficient.
But in my thesis, I did a part of
I
my,
just use machine code. I don't know about you.
If you
Oh,
program
zeros and ones.
robot
Where's that?
Just
to
two
look
buttons.
like your significant other.
In my thesis, I had to do a thing where I was doing a numerical technique. I originally wrote it in Python, and then I rewrote it in Fortran. It was literally about 10,000 times faster.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't have to wait for weeks for something to finish. It
Hey,
was
hey,
just like that.
Tizer 18, I see you.
So,
See you.
Bastek, thank you very much.
I just saw
Let's
someone
get back
called
on topic.
someone called Tizer 18 commented a thing. It was too fast.
So-
None of you ever
so
see,
don't
but-
worry.
but I see you. I see you.
Bastek says, let's get back on topic. Everyone, what is your favourite sex toy? Let's go from the end. Simon Clark, what is your
Favourite
favourite
sex
sex
toy?
toy?
Satisfyer Pro 2.
Oh, I wonder why that. Who gave you the discount on that?
You never replied to me.
Hashtag affiliate link. What?
I bought it because you went into hospital right when I messaged you.
Oh, did
So
I?
I bought it
Genuine
at full
answer.
price.
Oh, I didn't give you
What
a
is
discount.
this? What is
I'm
the
so sorry.
Satisfyer Pro 2?
Ask
Sat-
Hannah.
Okay, it's called the
we
Satisfyer
could probably.
Pro 2.
We probably can.
we
I'll be
can't.
honest with you.
No,
I'll be honest with
banned.
you.
Absolutely banned.
Just Google it. Google it.
It is. So the
Is it another name for Pixel Girl?
Yes, that's my favourite sex toy. Just my girlfriend.
I don't think she's going to be happy
The
about that.
technology, the technology that it uses, which a lot of other sex toys have started to use now, is like this like air wavy like suction motion. So rather than it being like this vibration,
Is it a
that you-
Dyson?
rather than it being this vibration that you put onto a clitoris and then it like is the pressure on the clit, what it is like it goes around the clitoris. So say this is the clit, it, like you put it around the clitoris,
suction,
and then it's like a like
Goes
imagine.
la, 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 la.
I feel like the microphone might hate that, but it's like a like that.
I think put it back.
It's like that. It's like an airwave, like that.
It
On your
sucks at
clit.
very low pressure very quickly. That's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can increase the pressure, but you probably don't want to.
What's
Although-
your favourite sex toy, Turps?
Yeah. Anyway, moving on.
Fuck, I don't know.
You thought you got away with
I
this
guess
one,
for
haven't you?
me, I guess anything up my ass, really. Just
You
just
literally
Snickers
said
bar.
Straight up that.
alien.
Snicker
I've
bar.
never
Nothing is
been
never
penetrated.
Snicker bar.
What do you think would be the most pleasurable
So-
chocolate bar to insert up your anus?
Twix.
Not like a
Because one
Yorkie.
finger, then the other, isn't it? Yeah, that's what you do. You know.
It's like
That's what it
Mikado
is.
sticks.
Start, yeah, exactly. Or double decker for the same reason. I don't know. No, obviously a flake because only the crumbliest
I think
flake
Kit
is
Kat
chocolate.
works.
What, that was just
for
monk
me.
Yeah, all four.
Hey, did
Wow.
anyone hear my?
I like that.
What was your go on? Go on.
Oh, do you know what? I
No,
personally.
Lewis, no, we're not skipping you. What was your
Yeah,
favourite
it's
sex
also
toy?
yeah, it's also you.
His is also
But
butt.
here's the thing: like, you don't have to be like super good at sex and use sex
It's fine,
toys.
Lou.
Some
Yeah,
people
no,
don't,
you don't have
which
to
is
be
also
super good at-
fine.
You're in a safe space.
You can not use sex toys, and
There's
that's
so many to
absolutely
pick
fine.
from.
Flashlight.
How could I pick
there
a
really
favourite?
is so many to pick from.
There's something for everyone.
It can be really overwhelming.
Oh, Toblerone.
Toblerone.
it'd be a
Toblerone is a great
Not
choice.
not
of
post
edges.
Brexit.
No,
Not
funnily-
post
funnily
Brexit.
enough-
They fucked it.
Yodeling was invented
all
when
these little
someone
bits.
inserted a Toblerone.
Yeah. You're late.
I don't want to pick favourites. honestly.
To be honest, the Pro Satisfier is also. I agree. That one is great.
No, we're not going to mission fail. We'll get him next time. Lewis, what is your favourite sex toy?
As much as I love talking about sex, I also love not pressuring people who don't like talking about sex publicly to talk
Yeah.
about sex.
Well, I've
Wow.
got this glass dolphin.
I see.
Great.
WDC is one of our charities. They provided it. Thank you very
That's right,
much.
thank
Thank you. Oh my
It wasn't
God.
originally a sex toy.
Anything is if you're brave enough.
Dan, what's
call it
your
Honeydew.
favourite sex toy?
My favourite, in the interest of represented male sex toys, what is it called? I don't know what it's called. There's that Tenga.
Okay, yeah, there's this
the
company
Tenga
called
egg.
Tenga. They're a
It's
Japanese
not the
sex toy
eggs.
company.
They make one that vibrates.
It's called
very
the flip
vigorously.
hole zero.
What, it's an egg-shaped thing.
No.
No.
They
So
make the egg one.
They make
but
the egg ones, which are also great.
They
But
make one with 2 vibration engines, one at the top, one at the bottom.
it's called a
It
flip
really
hole zero.
Flip hole
changes the
zero.
entire
Sorry, what?
experience.
That sounds like an anime.
Flip
Fucking
hole.
hell, these things. The Tenderizer
Oh, yeah,
5000.
yeah,
the
yeah.
Tenga flip.
I mean, in
I'm
all
just-
fairness, if you
I
are
don't know what it's called, but
preparing
it's
a
amazing.
Christmas dinner meal, you can use any of these on the meat as well.
Oh, yeah,
All
yeah.
of these will tender
Yeah, go to Tenga Euro.
the moistest chicken you ever had.
It's basically, it looks like this.
Okay, we
Yeah.
can show this. Steve, bring it up.
Where do you put your dick?
70 quid.
In there.
You put your dick in the bottom.
So basically, it's
Is
like
there an
an
app for it?
obstacle course for your penis.
Yeah, you can show that.
Really?
You can show that, Steve.
I mean, we could go on like
If
this.
you want.
no, don't click any further.
No.
That's fine,
Hold-
though. There you
Okay.
go.
Hold
okay.
it there.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, my
Okay,
God,
yeah.
it opens up like
Yeah,
a
yeah.
fucking...
So
It looks like a water
Because this
cooler.
is the thing,
You
because
can
if
clean it,
when you
stays
jizz
hygienic.
when you
I
jizz
have a
inside
wine-
of it, you can
Oh,
It
clean
looks
a
like a
cork
fucking
opener.
Ghostbusters thing.
I feel like I'm going to pop open a champagne with it.
But you love it. It's great.
It's
Where's
great.
the
Great.
ectoplasm
Would
go?
recommend.
Yeah, what happens to all the ectoplasm?
That's why it
You
opens
clean
up.
it because you can open it up.
Old pet
you
comes
can
by
open it
and
up
shuts
and
it
clean it out,
down.
wash it out, and dry it.
I ain't afraid of no
But
dick.
inside, it's got all sorts of different textures, and then it also like there's one that doesn't have a motor,
Velvet.
and then one with a motor that is more expensive. So
Okay.
it depends if you want vibrations or not.
Okay.
Do you get what you pay for in the
right.
world of sex toys?
Definitely.
To be honest, as a sex educator on YouTube, I do get most of my sex toys sent to me for free.
Oh, really?
Disclaimer. As full
Okay.
transparency,
Is that how you got that?
I do not really pay for sex toys anymore.
I love that, though.
I feel like it's really
This
good
is
to be
a sponsored
transparent.
video. Just to let you know.
It also is. I just
Is
feel
Lewis
like
there with this?
Through a
Hey,
flashlight.
but like you probably
I got
don't
it free.
pay for video games.
No, exactly.
Anymore.
I'm just saying
You know
I want
what I
it.
mean? And I don't
want
pay for
him to
sex
have
toys.
this.
If you work in a biscuit factory,
industry-
you're going to get free biscuits.
That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, we were sat opposite some girls on the train on the way up, and one of them worked for a tea company.
I saw your
And
tweet.
she was.
She had free sausages, or she had. yeah.
Brought, oh my god!
I always
she
feel excited about this.
She brought sausages as a snack for the train, and one of her friends was a vegetarian, and she was like, "Ooh, more for me!" And I was like, "Oh my god, that is me."
Oh, shit.
And
I would have
and
straight in been in there. I'm
genuinely-
really sorry to interrupt. I like sausages.
Yeah, no, I was
Like,
so close.
Oh, we've had an update
if
on our
you were
etymology
expecting
question.
to share,
I was so close.
Shit and science both come from the Proto-Indo-European ske, meaning to split or separate. So one path leads to separating waste from your body, and another leads to separating things from one another.
Thank you, Marco.
So,
Etymology
No
boner right
clap.
now.
No clapping.
thank you so much for that. And also, I feel like we got a definition for science.
What, to
in that.
separate?
Just to separate things. into schemes and
categorise.
categorise.
That's just stamp collecting. That's what Rutherford said all science was, either physics or stamp collecting. But then
Oh,
that was
wow,
generally
that
regarded
sounds like
as
a
being,
physicist
bit
saying that.
pompous.
Thank you very much to Bastek. Thank you, Macy. Thank you, Pixel Pigeon. Not Xylus says, is it okay for a vegan to swallow sperm?
oh, that's a good question.
I mean, it's up to you.
Yeah.
Okay.
But are you still a vegan if you swallow sperm?
Well, I think.
But here's the
people
thing.
set their own
because,
boundaries with
yeah,
that
and
stuff
also
anyway,
one of
so-
the reasons why vegans become vegans is like you've got the environmental stuff, the health stuff, and then the animal
Consent
stuff. And the animal stuff is around consent. Like, are animals consenting to this? But if the person whose semen you're swallowing is consenting to that,
You'd hope they were.
So if
Then-
a chicken lays an egg, chicken wanted to lay the egg, didn't necessarily want me to eat it.
Yeah, so
Is
they're
that
not
the thing?
because they're not
Intention.
consenting to that necessarily.
If
So
it was
what
an
you're telling me-
unfertilized egg and they're just sitting on it, they're still like that's.
Do you
Wait,
know
so
what? I
we've got to
can't argue
breed
this because
smarter
I eat
chickens.
so much meat and I love meat. What?
Yeah.
Breed smarter chickens.
Breed smarter chickens that can
So have you seen?
verbalise
So
consent.
the
to
Can
you.
new
you just
thing.
say
This,
that you love meat a few more times?
yeah.
I love meat.
So-
but you know what I don't love? Swallowing semen.
So one of
Amazing.
these other things. So again, new Reddit thing today.
I'm getting very
They-
sweaty.
so
Hannah.
they've invented a
you
new
want
way
some
of
Radnor
sexing
splash? Lemon
eggs.
and lime?
God,
You can now sex chicken eggs after I think it's 3 weeks.
You shouldn't be doing that.
It's like nine days of incubation, basically meaning that they can terminate male chickens, which currently they have to be born
That's enough.
a
And then
chicken
they're shredded.
sexer, and then they're shredded as animal food. So they can basically vastly reduce the global impact and the sociological impact and the ethical impact of farming chickens. As a cock lover myself. Like, I am so delighted about this. Like, genuinely,
Hey, Steve, you
I
might
eat
wanna-
more
I think
chicken
we're
than
moving
anyone I
the
know.
Tenga.
Like-
Yeah, we
boy.
could keep this.
Every single day, bar Tuesdays, Veggie Tuesdays.
I don't know. I
have.
think we moved on from the.
Yeah,
Tenga
we can.
topic.
We can. Yeah, we feel like we're giving them too much. There we go. But
much
genuinely, I'm super excited about this. The fact that we are able to improve there are, I think it's 3 or 4 times as many chickens on Earth as there are people.
Yeah, it's the most common.
What was it, Dan?
animal
You
in the
said
world, I think.
Yes.
you were like,
yeah.
once they start making actual good, like
Lab meat.
lab
lab-grown
meat,
meat will
then
be-
you're just stopping your meat.
Interesting.
So clean meat, they make it now. Again, the cost isn't like it is like I think 3 times more than like otherwise, but it will come down. The bigger
mass
problem
production
is
always
then.
produces stuff.
But then what will happen is
The
that
cruelty
rich people,
tastes so good, Turps.
Exactly, but rich people will buy the real thing,
Anyway.
and that will be a
But
thing.
agriculture
They
on a
always do
small
though.
scale.
You'll charge more.
Generally speaking,
Is okay.
rich people love cruelty.
Yeah,
That's the way.
That's what you pay
I
for.
see.
Hashtag
That's what you pay for.
That's what you're paying for. I can taste the suffering in this steak.
Oh,
Veal, darling, lovely. It never saw daylight. Mwah!
Nina
lovely.
has donated. She says, "This is my first time watching a Yogscast stream. I've been watching Hannah's videos for a while, and I heard
thank
about
you.
the stream through Simon's wiki
Look
card.
at that.
Hey.
Look at this. This is like, that's beautiful.
Bringing
Thank
it
you
in.
very much.
That's
Thank you, Nina.
collaboration. Thank you.
I look forward to seeing Simon record a WikiCast absolutely smashed. Ryla says, Lewis, you buy. I'm not judging if you are. I am too much love. Well,
Buy for
what?
the right people, I hope.
Well, I've
Like
never.
if you,
Hope?
yeah, I'm saying like if Lewis and
Are
I,
you hoping
we
for
travel a
yourself?
lot. Yeah, I'm saying if we crashed on a desert island, I've got urges, he's got urges. I hope. Like if I'm just saying, I'm not saying like.
I'm not
you know-
ruling it out.
Yeah, exactly. It's not.
Get ready to clip this.
It's not gay. It's not bi. It's just I'm open to the possibility with the right person.
I've never had
A bum orgasm.
an-
no. Sorry.
I've never
You
had.
don't have to have a bum orgasm to be bi.
No, I
That's
don't.
criteria.
There you go.
But
Have whatever you want.
You've never had a gay experience, was that?
But
what
I'm not actually. Yeah, no. But I'm not against the idea with the right person.
Yeah, there you go.
So the phrase that I like to use for that is hetero-flexible.
Yeah.
I like trisexual.
So it's just like-
'cause I'll try anything sexual. I like it. I like that. I think that's up there.
Yeah.
But Lewis, yeah, I like that.
But also shout out to you bisexual people out there. I know bi erasure is a real thing.
Oh,
So,
holy
like,
shit, exactly.
We see you.
Yeah.
We
So
see
one of
you.
the charities you can support, and so again, if you go to humble.com/yogs,
Yes.
when you donate, you can choose where your money goes. Interact with those sliders. You can go to the PayPal Giving Fund. You can type in a name or a cause, and it will find something in the world that you can give all of the money to. Or one of the charities we've nominated is ILGA, which is the International Lesbian, Gay, and Intersex Association.
I've heard of them.
They're really
Yes.
good. They are amazing. And they do a huge amount of work across the globe, varying from education to shelters to protection to government lobbying. There's
Bum stuff.
bum stuff.
If you're into that-
people treat kind of homosexuality and insexuality and transsexual stuff so differently around the world. In some places, it's very accepted. In some places, you're on the fringes. In some places, you're actively prosecuted. And so they're actively working everywhere, and that's great. So if you want to go and donate, head on over to humblebundle.com/yogscast or humble.com/yogs.
Somebody,
You don't wanna type
somebody
too many.
commented in the middle of that saying they tried to be pansexual, but they burnt their dick on the skillet.
Amazing.
There you go, bam.
What
Thank
a
you.
great
There you go.
Arvid says, "What's everyone's favourite sex pose?"
Should we
This
do
one.
it after 3? Our favourite sex pose. 1, 2, 3.
Oh my God! No one was shouting it out.
What happened? Do you know what? I have no idea what anyone else did.
I can't decide.
What did you do?
I like.
Sex. What does sex pose?
I literally just like imitated something you
naming
did.
position.
Well, the thing is, for me, it's like quite complicated, right? They have like they're on the floor, and I'm.
My favourite would
I'm
be...
pushing them off the edge of a
And I'm
canal.
suspended from the ceiling.
They're doing
Something like this.
I'm just saying, if you haven't tried jetpack sex, you haven't lived. So I'm there in my expensive jetpack,
I'm in a
floating
swing.
around.
Oh, boy.
Oh.
Silas.
Hang on, Silas is back.
Brief break.
What do you
brief
want to
break.
know, babe?
Silas,
All right, I saw this diagram.
Oh, yes, the diagram.
Yeah.
Here we go, folks.
I don't know if I can.
Yeah, you show the
Can
camera.
you say the camera? Okay. I would like to add that all of the diagrams in my book, I drew them. They're me.
Really?
I drew them.
So there's something here called foreskin.
Yes. Are you Jewish?
What? No.
Are you circumcised?
Yeah, you circumcised?
A baby?
Maybe.
I think you
don't
might.
you have
remember-
balls?
I tell you what. Let's all have a look.
Let's all have a look. Let's all medically examine. To be honest, like...
We've all discovered something
what's
today.
your concern then, Silas? Here.
I don't know what that is.
Okay. So
Lewis, please explain.
sometimes when parents, do you know what? This is the thing actually. Certain religions, certain people need to have be circumcised, have their foreskin removed for medical reasons.
Yeah.
But that usually occurs much older if there are complications.
Yeah. But
And also, you can grow a lot of skin from foreskin.
Yeah, it's the most common use of skin grafts.
Bam.
It's the most source of skin grafts is baby foreskins.
right.
What?
They
So
grow
when
it-
someone has a baby smooth bum,
How many do you have to patch together?
No,
in order
I
to
think
get
they use the cells from it to grow more skin. You can get something like 10,000 skin grafts out of one baby.
Hold on,
needed.
hold on. Because Sandra Bullock recently did an interview on
Thank you,
Yellow.
Silas.
Cheers, mate.
Sorry,
me.
Silas. We've like gone off on one. But like,
In this stream? No, surely
Sandra
not.
Bullock was talking about she had a facial
yes, I'm sure.
that
Okay.
was like foreskin.
Yeah,
facial.
stem cells.
Oh,
and,
right.
And everyone like was I don't know, just like was really angry at her, and there was a lot of kickback on that because a lot of people, like including myself, like have a problem with circumcision because I don't think it's right or consensual, and but that's that's the whole.
If you are
that's the whole
circumcised,
thing.
there are like you may be less sensitive than normal people,
Yeah,
but it
and
doesn't
also it's
actually
like you're
reduce the
literally
size of
cutting
your
the
penis
part
that
of
much.
baby
Equally,
for no reason.
But we're talking about male circumcision here as
yes,
well.
yeah, we're talking about
Yeah.
male circumcision.
Very much.
You don't.
Yes.
You shouldn't circumcise your children at all in any way.
Well, again,
But the
unless
thing is that a
unless
lot
someone
of-
tells you to do it for
but
medical reasons.
I'm really confused now because what if she used foreskin cells that weren't actually like snipped off in terms of circumcision from a baby, but they were like regrown? So
I did a few scrapings for her.
So what we're saying is, it very
Yeah,
much
yeah.
changes the definition of baby-faced.
yeah,
my
baby
God.
face. Is very, yeah, let's change that.
I like it.
No.
That's good.
Also, you know how like your liver can like grow back like 60%. So like if you have a liver transplant,
Your
like,
foreskin doesn't do that, though.
no,
Because it's gone, it's
what
gone.
is this thing about your foreskin cells?
Yeah, I think
No, so
they
it's-
take
yeah.
baby foreskin specifically.
It's like
from the
it's like
circumcision.
because
Oh,
yeah,
oh,
'cause
so
they
the
have
baby
it.
is still circumcised to
Yes,
take those cells.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're having a facial that is
It is
foreskin
yeah.
facial,
We're talking about
that
different kind
baby
of facial
has
here,
been
right?
Yeah.
which
Okay.
I
was very
think
confused.
is
Imagine
wrong.
it like
When
gelatin.
you said you were having a facial, I could not think of anything else
yeah.
than the very
Yeah.
specific.
Then
type.
the
I just remember
the
hearing that
Pornhub
interview
search.
with Sandra Bullock, and I was like, oh, that is bad.
Good
The
Lord.
thing is, it's ironic because she was in a film called Speed, where if she went over 50 miles an hour,
Wasn't
and
she
then
in Speed
dropped,
2?
she would blow up. And now she's gone over 50 years old, and she's done all this foreskin stuff.
Do you think she's going to blow up?
I think she's blown up again. I think she is.
Isn't that Speed 2? Isn't that the one that's on a boat?
That was on a boat.
And Keanu Reeves is the one
He's
in
not
Speed
in it.
1.
Yeah, he's not in
Yeah.
Speed 2, so I didn't watch it. Haven't seen it.
Thank you, AG Silver, for your donation. Do you calculate
Well, we've all
for
learned
you
something
here?
today, guys. Xylus is circumcised.
As a genuine
If you want a
Christmas
picture-
tree
if you
farmer,
want a
I'm
picture
interested to know what you
that-
all think about. What do you think about real and fake Christmas trees?
So I have
We have
real
a
Christmas
fake one.
trees. That's fine.
I think.
But
I
I've
think they're
always
supposed
grown
to
up
have
with a real
right?
one, but we bought a fake one.
Is it better for the
We live in
environment?
a
to have
flat
real
I think
one?
if you have it for about
Tricky.
10 years, it works out to be about the same impact. A fake one for 10 years.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas
Oh, so
Adam
we just
is
need to
he's
keep
a
our
Christmas
fake
tree
one
farmer.
for 10 years?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know, he's one of my regulars.
Well, we have a huge box for it. We need to figure out where we're going to store that. after
Yeah.
Christmas.
What happened if you just chuck it because you
Up your
realise
bum.
it's so cheap?
God, we've got a lot
In
of
the-
donations
yeah.
left to go.
In the room.
So I always
Up
get real
your-
ones, and the thing is with real ones is they do die. But the thing is my daughter's birthday is the 2nd of January, so I always make a big thing, Boxing Day, I put it outside. So Christmas is over and we have a bit of separation, and then hey, it's birthday
Oh,
time.
that's
We
nice.
burn
And
it
that's
for the
exactly,
birthday.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
And we celebrate. We put a little effigy on there. of
That's
her.
really interesting because so my dad's dad died before I was born, but his birthday was early January. And you know how you've got apparently so the 12 days of Christmas is officially from Christmas Day until something like the 5th or the 6th of Jan. I don't know.
Yeah.
I never knew this man because he died before I was born, but his birthday was the 6th of January or something, which is like the day after.
You do sound like a football commentator.
Right,
at the
that's
moment.
fine.
Okay.
You're popping a bit.
The day after
Unbelievable, Jeff.
when you're
the
supposed to
12th
take
day, yeah, 12th night,
when you're supposed to
whatever.
take your Christmas
Because
tree
apparently,
decorations
the
down.
things you've got to remember that these are
Yeah,
all.
but they kept it up for him so that
Oh,
on
that's
his,
nice.
his
okay.
birthday they could still
so
have
we,
it.
So
all.
we like to have a bit of separation, but equally you got to look at a lot of these festivities are based off of pagan rituals and forest spirits, and it's why we take some greenery inside and have Christmas trees. It's very Germanic.
Moving it.
We have lots of different kind of things that affect us. Here in the office, we always have a real Christmas tree. And if we went to the kitchen cam, I don't know if we got it attached.
Where is
it's
it?
gone.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So literally,
Already?
because everyone leaves and no one's going to water it over the next week. Last time we left it, and it was just this husk of you touched it.
Wait,
and
why
it
would
shed
you
everything.
need to water it?
So-
I've always grown up with real Christmas trees, and we've never watered it.
Yeah,
You
so
need to.
Your parents did it when you weren't looking at
No,
it.
but it's just been a
Santa did it.
it's just been a wood stump on a piece of newspaper.
No,
Oh, wow,
but there's
no,
the
yeah,
little
so we-
pot thing. and
so
you-
we
We
have-
never have a
yeah,
pot. It's just
no.
it's just a wood
So we
stump
have
on a
lots
piece
of
newspaper.
heating in here. We've got lots of anyway.
Oh my God.
We have to, and it
Being
basically
a child
it
is
dies.
great. You don't have to think about it.
So we cut it up. Daft cut that up. That's gone now. So
Thank
our
you.
Christmas tree is dead.
Very much to any anonymous people
Bye-bye.
who donated.
Anonymous, you
You
guys
are
rock.
always the
Thank
best.
you.
Mr. Brindley has donated. He says, Simon and Hannah, how can we use sex and science to help my son Lewis get laid?
He didn't say my son.
Well, he
Says,
meant.
cheers, son.
Cheers.
Okay.
That may be beyond my powers.
I can
think-
help.
Yeah. What would Lewis have to do? What's a good chat-up line, or do chat-up lines not work?
Okay, so here's the thing.
You don't
It
wanna
doesn't-
ever wanna trick
It's not
anyone.
about generic chat-up lines. It's about who you want
Bespoke
to have sex with.
Right.
chat-up lines.
So I need to
it's-
lower my standards.
No, it's about the specific person and like it about being about that very specific relationship rather than it being this generic thing that you're like, it'll work for anyone. Why would you want something that work for
The
anyone?
thing is, actually, having thought about it in this stream, I think I'm
Are
actually
you single?
demisexual.
Okay.
So I'm really.
Had you just learned
all
what
that
is-
talk
What
about
is Demi?
speed
Is
and-
that where you need to be in love with Demi
Demi
Moore?
Moore.
So you need to like again, it's all on a spectrum, but like generally for people who are demisexual, in order to experience a sexual attraction, there needs to be that emotional attraction.
Well,
first.
Demi Moore has to be in the room.
She has to be in at least on DVD.
Or like
on
an
Amazon.
iPad.
Yeah,
Or like
exactly.
over the face.
Oh,
Yeah,
gosh.
I mean, it depends
Or
on
over the
whether
back
you
of the
define
head.
as
Don't.
emotional attraction.
See, what is it called if you're attracted to oh shit.
Keanu Reeves.
No, from
Bruce
True
Willis.
Lies. Who's the
Sandra Bullock.
No. Come
Steve
on,
Austin.
chat. No. What's
The Rock.
No.
Sean Connery.
I'm waiting for chat to catch up. They'll know.
Who are you? Anyway.
Which film are you referring to?
True Lies and
True Lies.
Jamie Lee Curtis.
Oh, yeah.
Right, what's that called?
Is that Britney
Is that
Spears?
Curtis?
Jamie Lee Sexual.
Jamie Lee Sexual. I'm Jamie Lee Sexual. Holy shit, Jamie Lee
Are
Curtis.
you not wife sexual?
Exa-Visceral is
My
added-
wife looks a lot like Jamie Lee Curtis.
Okay.
I
And
do
she
have a
knows
girlfriend.
that.
It's all fine.
She knows that.
Exa-Visceral has donated another
Clearly, I
$5
do not know enough.
saying, do you think it's okay if I have regular sex with a co-worker?
You
they're
can be
consenting.
demisexual and biromantic.
I'd say don't shit where you eat is generally
That's
good
the
advice.
rule.
Wow.
That
It's
is-
fine
It's,
if-
it's harsh advice, but I think it's very good advice.
So we have a strong rule here in the office of no relationships. Lewis used to go out with Hannah, who works here, and we've had many, like Mark Humes and Nina. They're engaged. We got Rihanna now does High Rollers, who's engaged with Craig.
Singer.
And the singer as well. So basically, our rule doesn't work at all.
No.
So ultimately,
It never does, because people do what people do.
Exactly.
do what people
And the thing is ultimately never have a relationship with someone who you would need to continue to have a relationship with if you can't handle your shit after being intimate with them.
Well, yeah, just think to yourself, if I sleep with this person, am I prepared to leave my job? You go,
Or are
I
you
sleep with you,
capable?
it goes badly.
But exactly. And then
Am I
would you be
prepared to
capable of being professional and separating those two things? That's the thing.
And
And
for
are
most
both
people,
of you?
the answer is no.
The same thing
No,
applies to
it's
uni
tough.
houses.
Lewis and I managed.
Shouldn't date people that you live in the
that's
house
fine.
with uni.
We're
I'd
good.
recommend.
we're
we
good.
worked it out, didn't we?
Exactly. I handle more of the sort of traditional business stuff. Lewis does more of the kind of content and creation
butt stuff.
We've got a separation there that
creation
works.
stuff is awesome.
And then we go to San Francisco every year. It's fine. It's fine.
Well, we have to put a pin on this stream, guys.
We've got 5 minutes left.
Oh
Holy
my
shit.
God!
Let's just...
We've got a lot of donations to
about
get through.
sex forever. Oh wait, that's my job. YouTube.com/Hannah Witton.
There you go.
Quick fire answers. That's what we need.
Here we go. Lewis, let's hit us with him.
Simon, do you have hope for humanity to counter climate change?
We'll be able to survive as a species, but not as a civilization as we know it in a few centuries.
Hannah,
Love it.
I have 2 friends who used to be really close and did everything together but drifted apart. How do I get them to do the next episode of Shadow Wizard?
What?
Don't worry, that's a meme thing.
Okay, meme. Never
Yeah,
mind.
that's
What do
fine.
you think about Bob's and Vagine? Hannah.
What do I think about what?
Bob's and Vagine.
Plus
They're great.
Please
Up-
open milk taps.
Up to you.
Show Bob. Simon, I love the idea that you guys are supporting charity through video gaming. That was from Simon, actually.
Oh, thank you very much to me.
Dr. Simon Clark, help me understand why protons don't decay in milliseconds.
Oh, God. They do only when they're bound up with neutrons.
Is there any problem on Earth or Mars that edging won't solve, Hannah?
I mean, not that I've come
Science
across
is...
so
Yeah,
far.
exactly.
Simon, do you have any advice on how to keep boring research interesting? That's from The Peach.
I tried masturbating, but the mess afterwards leaves my notes sticky.
I too tried masturbating and it didn't work. I'd recommend mixing it up with another interest. So I did singing for 4
I would
years
also
alongside my
recommend
PhD.
Oh, really? How good are you at singing?
I was a choral scholar. I was paid to do it.
Wow, holy
So
shit.
next time there's a karaoke stream,
Bam.
I have to come back.
No, you're too good.
Hannah, if you had to be a fruit, Hannah, what fruit would it be?
I like strawberries. I'd be a strawberry.
A strawberry. Okay, excellent.
Not technically a fruit.
Amazing.
That's my favourite thing on this stream right there.
I think we need more of those inputs.
America,
It doesn't have seeds inside the body. So British
Well, we're not in
definition
fucking
it is.
America now, are we, Steve? Jesus Christ. Gibran
Come on,
Walidji says, Simon, any advice on getting laid at Oxbridge?
Oh, God.
Currently, very dry in Cambridge.
I can't blame you. I spent a lot of time in Cambridge.
What,
Just
you
be yourself. Go
you
to
dredged
societies
the-
that you're interested in.
Yeah.
Find people that are interested in the same things you're interested in.
Join a club with lots of women in. Yeah.
Yep. Like dancing. Go and learn
Yeah,
how to
dancing.
dance.
No, don't go dancing.
If you
don't
can't
do
dance, you
ballroom
can't make love.
dancing. Ballroom dancers are the worst.
Okay. well, you heard it.
Let me introduce you to Strictly Come Dancing, where every contestant ends up fucking the other dancer.
the curse.
So
Exactly, they're the worst.
There you go. That's how it works. That's the magic of dance.
Thank
Do you want to go to the discotheque later, Lewis?
very much.
à la discothèque.
Lewis Puis, thank you, Aaron Bendover. Thank you, everyone.
Montesper.
Winter Webb donated $100.
Hundo! Thank you.
Baguette!
Omelette du fromage.
Pamplemousse.
Kenny added $660. There you go. Would you like to
Wow.
read this one, Hannah?
Turps is fine. Lewis is heaven. Hannah's crotch did. Oh no, not reading that. Not reading that.
Amazing.
Amazing.
Ivan Hoare, thank you very much.
Stream of the year from Anonymous.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Gojax says, hi, lads.
This question's for everyone but Hannah. Right, bye.
Lads,
Maybe through your butt.
me and my friends are aiming to start a sex cult. We aren't all men. I need recommendations on what we should buy, and can we also have a name?
Lube. Invest in lube early.
Get a wheelchair and call yourself the Sex Men, and then shave your head, and you're Charles.
Amazing.
Get out of my head, Charles, and into my arse.
Isaac says, Hannah, I got a puzzle piece bruise on my dick, and I'm wondering if I should get it checked out. I'm 17 and lost my virginity recently. Go to your GP.
What happens
yeah.
to the rest of the puzzle?
There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
That sounds. It's not as painful as a Lego brick stuck in there, though. I guess.
I also like to talk.
Well, could you tell me? Lewis Wright says, why do some people ejaculate more than others?
Because they masturbate.
Zinc.
People are different.
Yeah.
There you go.
Have
Well,
zinc.
Listen, if any of you are concerned about any of the advice we've given on this stream,
Don't follow it.
or
Remember,
Don't
there
follow.
were
Rule
3
number
rules.
Remember, don't take our
don't
advice.
take any of our advice.
However, if you would like
already
to,
disclaimed
if you would like to see more of our lovely guests tonight, Simon, what's your?
I am just Simon Clark on YouTube, where I do a variety of videos, some vlogs, some science stuff, some book stuff, and I also on Twitch
Butt
as
stuff.
Dr. Simon Clark. No but
Some
stuff.
butt stuff. No
That's a
butt
promise.
stuff so far. That's a promise. Hannah, where can people find you?
People can find me on like YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Hannah Witton. But then also, Simon and Dan helped me build my first ever PC.
Well, that was
Yes.
going to be. I was going to say,
Yeah.
if you want to see more of me, you can see my back on Hannah's
You
YouTube
can
channel.
see on the YouTube channel. building
Now,
my
also,
thing.
Hannah, you're doing PlayStation Let's Plays as well, aren't you?
Yeah, so I've got a series at the moment with PlayStation, so I've got lots of fun games with them.
So if you like gaming and you want to see more of Hannah, she's going to be
Yeah.
playing more games.
And my Twitch is Hannah Witton.
In terms of streaming stuff, see, I'm also doing maths and physics papers. So I'm trying to do something new on Twitch. So
Also, when Civ 6 Gathering Storm comes out, that's all I'm
oh yeah,
doing for the rest
I
of
want
my
to play. I definitely want to do multiplayer with you.
So we need to get them in for a Civ game, and Lewis will actually.
Yeah.
No, he will ruin. He will ruin.
I'm gonna ruin you.
You're going to be like, I don't like this game.
How has he got this many units? I just
Yeah,
don't
exactly,
fucking understand.
exactly.
You're just gonna be a quivering mess.
I'm terrible at building
That's Hannah's
units.
experience every time we
Declares
play
war
together.
on me, and I'm like, but I'm not ready.
The only time I can make a woman scream is when
Yeah.
I beat her at Civ.
Yeah.
All right, thank you
to
everyone.
beg for more.
We're done.
Grief.
Thank you, everyone.
Yes.
Thank you so much for the
Up
donations,
next,
everyone.
we have. Who is up next, Steve?
We don't know.
I thought it was
something.
Nazi, but maybe it's
Check the
Rithian.
schedule.
It's a surprise.
It's Rithian or Nazi. We
It
don't
might not
know.
be either
And
of
then
them.
Surprise.
after, we have DJ Wheat
Wheat.
and Mini Wheat are going to be here live on the Jingle Jam.
Right.
Thank you to everyone.
Thank you so
Stay
much.
tuned.
Thank you, guys.
We love you. Head on over to humble.com/yogs. Buy the bundle. You've got a few days left. It is the perfect Christmas present for anyone you forgot to buy a Christmas present
That's
for.
so true. And also, it creates no waste. So if you care about the environment at all, you're not creating any plastic or anything like that. No waste for Christmas present.
Perfect present.
Buy that bundle.
Bye,
We will see you soon. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Farewell.
Farewell, travellers. Happy Festag.
Happy Festag.